It's WrestleMania, baby. Here we are, episode number 88 of the Dragon's Den podcast here and on the air. My name is Eric Hopkins, a.k.a. Joe. Welcome to the Dragon's Den podcast. Got Spooby the Great, Brandon on the top right, and Miranda Nicole on the bottom. We got 3 out of the 5 dragons here tonight. Might have a 4th. Aaron may show up a little later. We'll have to wait and see. But Matt probably won't be here tonight, so we'll maybe see him there next week. But welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Like I said, WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania 42 is this Saturday and Sunday. So we got some wrestling to talk about for sure. We got a little bit of movie news. No sports really tonight, outside of the fact that I'll probably mention we're going to cover the draft next week for the NFL. But other than that, that's pretty much it for that. And then we'll have some news and politics to wrap up the show, as always, and our Rumble and X exclusive, as we always end up the show with that type of stuff. So what's going on, guys? Good to talk to you. Been about a week.
I know.
So
yeah.
How's it been?
Not a bad week.
No.
Other than like.
Really? I feel like I have PTSD from it.
Yeah, we bought a mower again. I bought a new one, and that was a whole ordeal. Okay, and Eric, you know how my yard is, right? Especially the backyard with the hill. Mm-hmm. Well, it's
how many acres?
Soft, 3.5.
Okay, a lot of acreage, and it's soft. A big hill, big grass. Just for those of you who don't know, it just kind of goes way downhill. But yeah, it's nice.
But we got a 0 turn now, and it's fun. It's nice and all, but on the back hill, I was fighting this thing the whole time because the ground is soft, so it's wanting to go one way, but I need it to go the other way. So like my body was super tense. One, I've never driven one of these things before, so it was a learning experience. And then I'm cutting the grass, and I run out of fucking gas at the bottom of the hill. So I'm already sore. I have grass and dirt all over me because the side.
Mind you, I'm at work.
Yeah, Miranda's at work.
So nothing you can do to help. Yeah.
All this grass and dirt is caked all over me. Like, it's everywhere. My phone case, which is waterproof, mind you, I had so much dirt and grass inside this thing because it just went in there. Like, I don't know how, it just did. So I come up to the front of the house to get the gas can, just to realize there's no gas in it. There's enough gas for me to put in it to get the mower up the hill, which was an adventure in itself.
So on dry land would probably be hard enough to get up the hill.
Yeah.
Alone, so
then
moist. Yeah.
I told Miranda this, and she's like, well, I'll come up and get you. We just run and get gas real quick. I'm like, cool, no problem. So she does come back, get gas. I finished cutting the backyard and the side. It's all done. Now, I will say this. With my riding mower that we had previously, it took me about 4 hours to cut this whole thing. With this thing, it cut it down to 2. If you cut out me fighting it for that whole time and the running out of gas, it maybe 1.5 to 2 hours. That's how long it took me to cut.
That's not bad considering the size of the yard.
I know. So bonus on that part. But I have been fucking sore ever since. Like my muscle, like my shoulders, my forearms, my back is ripped. Like because I'm fighting this thing the whole time. Like it was pissing me off more than anything. And like part of it was on me because I've never driven one of these things and getting used to the fact that like I don't have to shove the fucking things forward. I just gotta push it forward. When I want to turn, pull it back slightly, it'll but I'm like
on my way home.
Poor guy.
On my way home today, I saw this little old lady driving one, and I'm like, you know.
You going to give it a shot, Miranda?
Nope. In my yard, we got too many freaking groundhogs and moles. It's so small right there.
You got to get you a sledge and play whack-a-mole.
So then I go to cut. You know the.
Sorry, Peter.
The second. The garage, and then we have the she shed.
That's what she said.
I was going to cut back there, and all of a sudden I go and the front tires fall.
Oh no.
Like, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I shut it off, I get out, I look, and it's a groundhog hole that the front tires have fell into. Now, again, nobody else is here to fucking help me. So I have to put this thing in neutral, get behind it, and pull with everything I have to get the fires out of the hole. I feel like I felt like when I was wrestling the first fucking. Like,
see why I have PTSD?
I can, and you didn't. He went through it. Some more I was like,
I got beat, man. It was
Look,
like,
I told my boss today, I don't know how they survive when I'm not at home.
I'll just say this. You know how you guys are constantly saying, Eric, you got to buy your home.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish Aaron was on there because whatever day they went and got this stupid thing.
Oh my Lord!
I told Aaron, buy a house. They said,
yeah, it'll be fun. They said, yeah. See, I ain't got to worry about this problem. Worst thing I got to worry about is that
having a landlord might be a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I do have 6.5 acres. Sounds great on paper.
Yeah,
you got to cut 3.5 of that shit.
You got to maintain it. That's for sure. The only thing I got to worry about is getting the lawnmower guy going around, 8 or 9 in the morning while I'm still trying to sleep before I go to work. But I work a later shift than most. So
last summer we were paying somebody, and that's what they did. They got here real early, and it was really nice, and they weed whacked and everything. I will say, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Getting it off the trailer. My God, it was another. Luckily, as we're trying to do this, the guy who we paid to cut our grass, the lawn care guys that were doing it, he just so happened to be driving up the street, sees us trying to do this. He stops, laughs at us, and then gives us a hand. It was the funniest shit ever.
Need a hand?
But I mean, he's a super cool guy. He truly, he really is. He started his own business and all that shit. It's his business. Young guy too, but really cool. He's going to do some other lawn care for us, but mowing the grass is now my thing. But
I'll say I'd be outsourcing as much as possible for sure.
Well, my mom has outsourced her flower bed idea for the front, so they'll be doing that sometime next week.
I got faith in you guys. It'll look great when you're all said and done.
Yeah, it always does. It just I haven't done it. I didn't do it all last summer, so like now I got to get back into the swing of it. Yeah, now I'm on, but I'm getting off of that shit soon. So I'll get back to my normal routine. I'll get my yard done. Like that's my little piece. I've got my book. I throw my book on, my headphones. I'm out in the yard cutting grass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I think work's already prepping for you to come back too, because they moved Matt around like 2 or 3 different jobs today. So I'm thinking, so I just kept thinking that's just because they're trying to get you out of there, get ready for Brandon to come back. That's what it is. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong on that. But it was interesting to see him out doing other things this week. I was like, look at you, got some training. For sure. But we got Mike here in the chat, which we're going to talk about wrestling here in just a second. He said, I am not staying up to watch the WWE Hall of Fame at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Or
holy shit.
That is when the Hall of Fame airs, I believe, on ESPN's app or maybe even ESPN in general. But yeah, it starts at midnight. All I can say with that is I really hope that they taped this a day or two ago. So those wrestlers don't have to stay up so late before the show tomorrow.
This was probably done either to
wait. Is it in Vegas?
Night. Yeah. Well, this is on the East Coast midnight, so it'd be 9 o'clock their time. So it might not be as bad, but still.
Yeah, that's normal.
Oh yeah,
I guess that's when you put it that way for sure. But either way, I was just sitting there thinking, there's been previous Hall of Fames where like these wrestlers would fall asleep. You can see them nodding.
I remember last year they were tired as fuck.
That's because half of them are drunk because it's a big party beforehand. So then, like, most of them are drunk by the time they get in there, and then they sit in there, listen to somebody talk for the next 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, they're gonna fall asleep. Like,
and there's 7 inductees tonight. If they do speeches I highly doubt they will for all of them, but yeah, it's just a lot.
Who's headlining this year again?
Probably AJ Styles. It's either him or Stephanie, but either one probably be the headliners for sure. But yeah, it's them two, Demolition, Dennis Rodman, Bad News Brown, Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious, and then of course the Andre and Hogan match.
You say Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
For
his time in WCW.
Is he here?
I assume he'll probably I don't know if he'll give a speech or not. I still don't know if he's going to be in the celebrity winger. That's what I assume. But he had some tag matches with Hogan and stuff in the WCW.
He did.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would be in the celebrity wing, or if
he was in some of the video packages where they were promoting like your favorite moments of all time at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He was
because technically he was on WCW's roster, if I'm not mistaken, as an active wrestler.
I believe it.
So
yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised. Mike, he said, now watch my three-year-old will either keep me awake or wake me up, and I'll watch it anyway. So I am hoping I can watch it somewhere else, like on demand, like maybe their YouTube or something.
I'm not watching.
I ain't watching it tonight. That's for one, we're on the podcast, and then two, I'm just not going to do it tonight. Mike also said, who is your lawn care person there in Bloomington?
They're called the Lawn Men, I believe.
Yeah. Rob is his first name. I'm not sure of his last, though.
Yeah,
he owns it.
Okay,
yeah, he owns it.
Well, there you go. Get you good. Got to get your business card, pass it around.
Damn it, they're really good. I mean,
or later,
really
or better
good.
yet, get them to sponsor the podcast. I mean, I don't mind doing daily reads or something. Whatever we got to do.
There was he was like talking to my mom the other day. He goes, there's people around town that'll do this cheaper. She goes, yeah, I know, but I trust you.
Yeah,
trust is important.
Yeah.
Especially when you got people in a small town, you've heard of each other,
And plus, you're letting somebody come to your fucking house to like do, whatever it is that work it is that you're doing. Like, you got to trust them.
And you want it done right. You don't, there's plenty of people who do it wrong. It's hard to find those who do it right, I'm sure. So. All right, well, I want to go ahead and dive right into it. We got some wrestling to talk about, big show. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's talk about pro wrestling this week. Here we go. In all likelihood, the biggest pro wrestling weekend every single year is obviously WrestleMania weekend. And that is, of course, this weekend, as I mentioned earlier, on Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both days. Of course, it'll be a total of 17 hours over 2 days. Of course, that includes 3 hours of pre-show each day, plus a 1 hour post-show, which means the main WrestleMania show on Saturday and Sunday will be about 4 or 4.5 hours each. So it's all in all, the main show is about 8 hours, maybe 9 altogether. So that's about standard. But Mike, when he sent us a picture of the total runtime, I'm going, if that was the entire wrestling show itself, I don't think many people would be able to stay upright. They'd probably be passed out due to exhaustion. But
what WrestleMania was it? That was fucking 8 hours.
It was probably 38, 35, mid to late 30s, probably.
God,
right before they went to 2 days.
Yeah, that one was a slog.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally about 10 hours straight.
Yeah, it was
at least 8. I can't remember the exact, but it was long.
That's when we stayed on the south side too, wasn't it? Like,
it was over here by me.
Yeah,
because I believe
that was trash.
It was. Yeah, we were all just like, is this show going to end? Like, for real.
Dude,
and we're wrestling fans here, clearly, but
and it was a lot to get through on that one.
Oh, it really was. But this will mark WWE's third WrestleMania in Las Vegas and their second in a row in Las Vegas, last 2 years straight. And of course, today we got the reveal of the stage as it looks. It's got this is kind of a blurry photo. I got a little bit better one in comparison to last year's, but it's got this kind of almost Borderlands like.
Apocalypse
wasteland, kind of like a Mad Max kind of type feel to it, a little bit, as it were. So I mean, and of course it's got huge screens over the ring, which I don't have a photo of here, but this is kind of a little bit more HD compared to last year's WrestleMania. So a lot of people online, not saying I agree with this because I personally don't, they're saying this is a bit of a downgrade. But again, I want to say this right here. The picture we have of this year's set, you got to understand it's in context here. It's not during the hours of the show. It's not lit up as good as it will be during the show. It's probably going to look a little bit different once we actually get to the main pay-per-view itself, or the PLE as they're calling them now. So again, what you're seeing right now, you need to like hold your judgment until you see it in full context of the actual show. So we'll wait and see. But it is interesting to note here. I don't know if you can kind of see it. Maybe you can see it a little bit more on the other picture here. But they've got seats all the way up to the top of the ramp on each side. So like there's literally like no room for pyro right there. So I'm assuming that's going to be up and above.
That's with a big stage,
I mean, and they did have people sitting on the stage last year, but it was kind of up and around the main line here. But this is literally on both sides of the aisle. So right there up close and personal when they first walk out of Gorilla is where these fans are going to be seated. So could be some good seating there, or it could, I mean, as long as, I mean, they'll be able to see the ring pretty well, I'd say, from there. So it might be pretty good seats there. So it could be some premium seating for sure. But
all I know is I would not want to be sitting that close to Pyro anyway. I remember when we went to that show up in Fisher, that AEW show, and like I could feel the heat from Pyro from where we were fucking sitting. And there were people who were directly there. And I'm like, there's no shot.
I mean, imagine being the wrestlers who have to stand next to those fireball bursts and things like that. Or when Undertaker accidentally caught fire. You know, that sort of thing.
And Triple H, too.
Triple H.
Well, he got his was from the dry ice, but still got shit burned out of him.
Well, hell, or like when Kane, every time his pyro went off right there in the ring. I mean, shoot, I was like third row that one time he did. Yeah, you'll send your eyebrows. That's for darn sure. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but when you get in there and like from just, I mean, what were we like second section at AEW, and we felt the heat off of it there. Even like it was hot for sure.
Yeah, that shit comes out, bro.
No doubt. And Mike said WrestleMania 32 lasted forever, so maybe that was the one.
That's when it was.
It's been 10 years of that scare. That's hard to believe.
I genuinely like this set, and I think it's because of the theme. The theme is the same as the first one in 2025. It was more elegant. It was their first one in Vegas, right? Or was it?
Well, after WrestleMania 9, but it'd been years ago. So
then this would have been Anaya's.
Which one?
No.
Yeah. Which 32?
This would have been before Anaya was born.
Oh, okay.
The year before.
Oh, WrestleMania 32. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. So maybe that was the year Jackson was naked.
Yeah, he was.
That's that night. Okay. That's that day. Yeah.
For context, little babies like to run around anyway.
Yeah, that was that night.
And that's how he went to bed. Naked.
It was like, I'm going to sleep.
You know how kids can be, but you know.
But yeah, so
yeah.
But I don't know. I like this set. I think it because they're going for like a more gritty kind of look. It looks like graffiti and all that, especially with the WrestleMania sign and all this. I like it.
Well, then it's interesting to note too that their WWE video game, the 2K26, has also just this week released their season 2 of their Ringside Pass, and in that Ringside Pass there are Borderland variants of Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and CM Punk in that game. So I don't know if that's playing off of anything to that effect or not. If that is the case, I hope that in October when Street Fighter comes out, we get Cody Rhodes as Guile and Roman Reigns as Akuma in the game. That would be sweet. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not. But more on Street Fighter just a little bit.
I might have to buy a Street Fighter game. I haven't played Street Fighter in a grip.
Now, as of right now, WrestleMania 42 is behind the 8 ball when it comes to their ticket sales. These are the ticket sales for the last 5 WrestleManias, including this weekend's WrestleMania 42. Obviously, last year's 61,000 and 63,000 at Las Vegas last year, compared to right now, the ticket sales are at 44,000 and 45,000 for night 1 and night 2 this year. Obviously, a lot of this has to do with the ticket prices going through the roof. They have backed them down a little bit going into this weekend, but it does not appear that they're going to hit the 60,000 from last year at all. Now, expect to see WWE probably exaggerate the numbers as they usually do on these shows, but don't buy if they say anything over 60 for sure. I would not with a day to go. They're not going to make that up, even if a day of ticket sales. I don't see it. So thoughts on that? Obviously, we've talked about how the prices have gone up. Which with TKO and things like that. Could that be playing a factor? Is it 2 years in a row at Vegas? Everybody just doesn't want to go another second year in a row. Maybe they can't afford it this year. All the above. What do you think? Just a whole.
I think it's all of the above. I think it's the fact that TKO decided to raise ticket prices to the point to where it was like, this is a fucking mortgage and a car payment. Like, I'm not paying for it. And again, if you think about it, it's in Vegas the second year. As much of an extravaganza as WrestleMania is in itself, Vegas, imagine the prices being spiked up there. I remember me and Miranda were talking about going to Vegas before one of the F1 series was going to be there. And we had ticket price, like looked up hotel prices. And then like the day after when the race would start, hotel prices for the same hotel for the same amount of time. And it was like $200 to $300 more. So, like, yeah, I can imagine that Vegas is going to hike up their prices, especially for the big hotels. you know, Caesar, MGM, like those ones. And like, it's just too much.
Well, and one of the reasons that Vegas bid for WrestleMania to come back for the second year in a row when they originally, because New Orleans, if you remember, was supposed to get this year's WrestleMania, but Vegas outbid them by a country mile because Las Vegas was saying at the time that their tourism has gone down. So they were trying to bring any sort of event they could just to get tourism to go back up. So that may be a part of it too. But yeah, I mean,
well,
definitely.
You got to wonder, did they get their crime rates down? We had friends moving back from Vegas because of how bad it was. Like, and then I told you guys, Gart was just in Nashville. Burning Bright said, if you walk one street too far in Nashville, you're in physical danger because it's so bad there. So, like,
and Vegas
who
is
wants
no
to go
better.
out anywhere right now?
Any big city in general, it sounds like you just can't go and do anything there.
Yeah,
which
Indianapolis has their own fucking issues to deal with.
Yeah, and that's been that way for quite a while too. They're going to become Detroit if they ain't careful. Let's hope not. Yeah. But anyway, Mike said here too. He had a couple chats I want to get through. He said, "Not going to lie, maybe my least anticipated WrestleMania ever." And that has been another bit of the criticism. Some people don't necessarily care for the build that they did this year. I'm still wanting to see at least how the event goes. Vegas seems to be rather cursed, as it were, as Dan Houser would say, cursed. So hopefully third time's the charm for Las Vegas, but we'll have to just wait and see if that ends up being the case. But I understand there's a lot of people who feel just like you, Mike, with some of the booking and maybe the build not being the greatest in the world, but we'll see how it plays out. He also said, did you know that they did WrestleManias 4 and 5 in Trump Plaza? WWE just simply peeled the eye off the banners for 5 from 4 to 5. Yeah, they didn't really change much when it comes to the set because they really didn't have the big elaborate sets at the time. But yeah, I mean, I do remember that. And I actually, too, one of my favorites early WrestleManias, too, is at Trump Plaza. And boy, has Trump looked very young in those days, too. But
they probably,
early 80s, late 80s.
Got it done for the cheapest ever, too. That's why.
Right, for sure. And he also said, I felt the flames from Booker T's pyro from across the stadium in Texas, I imagine, which I believe that.
Booker T's? Like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
The flames just shooting up.
Constantly shooting up? Yeah.
No, brother, I can't imagine.
You.
No, thanks. And he said, it's clear that people are saving their Vegas money for Fernando Mendoza's debut as a Las Vegas Raider next season.
Lord
yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, hey, if he even plays week 1, they brought in Kirk Cousins. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah,
I don't know how Kirk Cousins keeps scamming people out of money.
Hey, I wish I knew how, because I'd probably try it. No, just kidding. But for that kind of money, I think about it for sure. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And like I said, we'll cover the draft next week. He also said before we move on, he said, as it looks, I seriously think WrestleMania 25 will go down as my last attended WrestleMania. At least I got to see Shawn versus Undertaker live. Shawn Undertaker #1, by the way. The second year didn't quite live up to the first one. But yeah, being at that WrestleMania, that would have been an absolute classic. I would have loved to have been there live.
That was a good match there.
And it started that 4 WrestleMania story arc too that read all the way through 28 with Hunter. So that was really cool, the end of an era and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely a good one. And you know what? I totally understand. We talked about maybe going to WrestleMania in Indianapolis when it comes back, but put it this way. I saw ticket prices this week just to see how much they were coming into the event. I knew since they were behind a little bit. Hard camera, which I understand, hard cam side is going to be much more expensive than the rest of the stadium, but hard cam side, ringside, $31,000 a seat.
Well, listen,
oh,
Linda. Elon Musk keeps talking about this universal high income for everybody.
Really? Huh?
Because the robots
I'm listening, Elon.
Building their, I'll play the clip later.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. So yeah.
But when AI is taking over, we're gonna have to do something. So
yeah, I'd have heard him saying stuff about that, or at least he's been mentioning it for sure. But well, we'll see how it goes. But with that being said, that means of course we've got Saturday and Sunday. We've got the card here, so let's run it down and let's see what you guys think about this. We've got, I believe, 13 matches in total. First match appears to be on the first hour live on ESPN2, appears to be the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. It's either that or the 6-man, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu definitely having a war as it is right now. Unsanctioned to start the show would be interesting, but definitely started off with the bang. Who do you think is going to win this? It was kind of cool to see Jacob Fatu come out tonight in a police car after being handcuffed last week, I should say, by Drew McIntyre.
Hilarious.
So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see what these guys can do. You know, they can tear the house down. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a fight for sure.
Look, there's nothing against Drew. I don't think Drew looks bad if he loses. I don't think Drew's stock falls if he fucking loses. Drew McIntyre, you want to talk about a wrestler who came back from being the chosen one in 3MB and to become what he is now. Like he left, went to the Indies, did this. Yeah. But now he's this Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath. Like,
yeah.
So Drew to me doesn't lose any stock by losing this match. I think agree. This will do more for Jacob than anything. But I do think it's going to be a fucking war, and if this kicks off the show, that's going to set the tone for.
They're saying it's at least the first hour. It's either this or the 6-man, but either one could be a lot of fun to start the show.
Yeah, either one's going to be a good time.
But they did say on Sunday, Oba and Brock will start the show. So if they're going with that same sort of vibe on Saturday, it'll be Drew and Jacob. So we'll get to Oba and Brock in a second. But so yeah,
I think Jacob.
I would go Jacob too. You got to pick Miranda, or what do you think? Anything in particular? Just I get your point of view.
I guess Jacob.
Oh, Jacob. All right, we're all going with Jacob Fatu on the opener for WrestleMania 42. At least we think it'll be the opener. We also got on the first hour on ESPN2. It'll be Jay and Jimmy Uso and LA Knight versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, the WWE World Tag Team Champions, and I Show Speed in a 6-man tag.
If it's not Jimmy and Jay, I'm not watching the rest of the fucking show.
A lot of people probably feel the same about LA. I would assume if this does start the show instead of the unsanctioned match, I would think they'd start it off hot with the baby faces winning. If Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre start the show, I might actually go with the Vision and I Showed Speed here. But that's kind of a toss-up for me. It really is.
Because they're going somewhere with this whole thing with Jay. I don't know if you saw what happened on
Cameron or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked clearly scripted. At first, I was like,
obviously,
I was like, it better be.
but see, that's the thing. When you play it off good, you can't tell.
Right.
Cam antagonized Jay the whole fucking time. Jay held his composure until he couldn't hold it anymore.
Right.
And then the end result was the end result, but like it was believable enough to where like you thought it was. Like you could see it going legit, but when Cam put out that tweet and all that other stuff, I was like, okay, I see it. But still, I don't know. I mean, Speed. If he's the one, imagine this. He's been cursed. We know this. If Speed somehow falls on top of LA Knight for the pin and picks up a win on behalf of the Vision, I think would be hilarious. I truly do.
The fans will hate it, but
for sure.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening. So
yeah.
But I think you don't want to, because you don't want to beat your tag team. You literally just crown them as your tag team champions. So
good point. I think if nothing
else, I don't think either one of them take a fall. If anybody takes the fall, it'll be Speed.
I think it'll be Speed. Yeah, I really do. I think LA Knight gets the win, actually.
Yeah.
Because a lot of fans have been clamoring for LA Knight to be pushed a little bit more here. And not only that, you could go with the whole Danhausen curse thing, but it seems like Danhausen's curses are more short term. But it does nothing long term really yet that I'm aware of. Yeah, I can totally see I Show Speed taking the pinfall here if the baby faces get the win. But I still kind of wonder if they're eventually going to get back to Jey Uso kind of maybe, flirting with the idea of going heel here. I'm not sure if they'll do it in this match itself, but for now, that's kind of been on the back burner, I think. But I'd still like to see them come back to that sometime down the line here.
Yeah,
for sure. A couple more chats here.
Because I think the match with him and his brother is imminent. Like I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I would still like to see it. Maybe SummerSlam or something. Maybe we'll get it. Mike said, Eric, you've been scamming Cook out of money for what, 22 years or so? Yeah, 21 years in July. He said I'm the Kirk Cousins of Cook. So I mean, he's not wrong. No, I try to do my best for him as best as I can. Wink, wink. Yeah. But anyway, so
that's fucking
he also said, I'm taking Jacob Fatu. I feel he pulls it out, although it'll be as tough as pulling teeth. Please tell me I'm assuming you mean his grills. because he's got.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Okay, I was assuming. But anyway, he said division will sadly speed by the Usos here. I mean, you might be right there because with them being just winning the World Tag Team Championships not too long ago, you probably. I mean, it like we talked about with Drew, it's not going to hurt the Usos as much. It might hurt LA Knight a little, but yeah,
if he
with
doesn't
division
take
getting
the
a win
pin,
here,
it
be fine.
doesn't.
That's true.
If LA doesn't take the pin, LA, you can pin one of the Usos. I mean, hell, maybe beneficial to pin Jay
to build that
with
story.
all this is going on, and yeah, so
yeah, very well could.
I could see that happening as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also got on the main card, I guess you could call it, even though this is all kind of main card. But after the first hour, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Now, I've not seen all of SmackDown tonight. They may have addressed this. I don't know. But it was announced today that Nikki Bella will not be able to compete in this match due to an ankle injury. So the Bellas may be out of this match altogether, or they may replace her with Brie. I'm not sure, but they'll be facing Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and of course Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the women's tag team champions here. So could they potentially pull the Bellas out completely, make it a triple threat match, or could they make it a fatal 4-way still? And with the reports going around that Paige has re-signed with WWE,
I literally was thinking that when you said it.
I mean, possibly. I mean, I don't see them winning. I don't see Brie and Paige winning the titles. I know Brie and Nikki have talked about how before they retire, they want to be able to win the women's tag team championships because that's something they were never able to do in their first run with the company. But until Nikki gets healthy, they ain't gonna be able to do that. But they have contracts to the end of 2027, so hopefully they'll still be able to do that before their career is up. Would you bring back Paige in this situation, or would you maybe hold off Paige for maybe after one of the women's world championship matches potentially? If these reports are indeed true, reports are saying Paige has signed a multi-year deal to come back to the company, and of course she's been healthy with AEW there for a while, so she is able to come back and wrestle. So we'll see how this goes. But what do you think? I'd probably hold it off.
Who would you have her challenge? Though this is the question, because Monday after Mania, we know what those are like, the Raw after Mania. So like they say they do hold off. Maybe they turn into a triple threat instead of a 4-way.
Yeah. Well, you could. My guess is Liv Morgan may win the world title from Fakir. Then you got Becky and AJ, which is another one you could throw her into. The women's and I'll tell you right now, with Jade Cargill and Rhea with the other women's title match, the one women's singles champion is Julia, really getting a shaft right now with the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, she is.
Like, you know what I mean? So it kind of sucks for her, but as we said, not everybody can get on the card. I'd probably AJ Lee and her have a past. That could be interesting. I mean, that's maybe where I would do it.
Also, her and Charlotte, her and Becky.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. And Charlotte keeps talking about, she wants to have the world championships back or more titles.
Yeah.
And Alexa doesn't seem to be having it right now. Yeah.
Paige and Rhea. Paige and Cargill.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there. Depends on which brand you end up putting her on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what brand do you go with, though?
I would put her on SmackDown right now because I think SmackDown needs the extra help personally.
You'll get that whole thing with her and
it'd be Rhea probably or Jade.
Yeah. But also Charlotte's on SmackDown too.
Yeah, or like I said with Julia, build up the U.S. Championship there with Julia.
I mean,
do something down there with that. That's kind of what I do. So for sure. Mike said, just realized why they hired the mime to lift the Vegas WrestleMania curse. He means Danhausen. I mean, I'm sure he will be on the show at probably maybe Sunday because Sunday's only got 6 matches and Saturday's got 7. But yeah, and then Bill's in the chat. He said Paige looks like Miranda though. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can see it. I can kind of see it. Put some glasses.
Now with her hair, her hair's too short now.
Maybe the hair's a little long now for Paige, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can maybe see it. Yeah. Take the compliment for sure. But yeah, so I don't know. When it comes just to triple threat, I expect Lash and Legend probably to read. I mean, you could give it to Charlotte and Alexa maybe, but the other ones, I don't know if they're going to win the World Tag Team titles. But if
I think, don't get me wrong, I don't mind Charlotte and Alexa, as a tag team, but eventually they got to get back to the singles, right? Like,
eventually,
that's got to happen at some point. But I mean, I get why right now the women's tag division is kind of lacking, and they are crushing it right now. So I can't really shit on the idea of it. But I think those titles are doing more for Lash and Jax, especially, and they've been running with it. So like they've been doing pretty good. Bailey and Valkyrie, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the pairing, but at the same time, I kind of miss Bailey being in the title scene and shit.
A part of me wants Bailey and Lyra Valkyrie to win the women's tag team titles just for the simple fact that Bailey got screwed out of the WrestleMania last year when Becky Lynch returned and teamed with Valkyrie. So part of me wants to pull for it just for that reason. But if you give the titles to Alexa and Charlotte, you could eventually have that kind of become a rift between them. Where Charlotte's more concerned about keeping the titles. Alexa just wants to be her friend, and eventually they have to go one-on-one. But you're probably right, though. I think Jackson Legend probably retaining is probably the best route. And you can still build those stories with Alexa and Charlotte for sure. But women notwithstanding, we got the Women's Intercontinental Championship, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. A match we've kind of already seen a few times, but on the grandest stage of them all, which is normally where Becky Lynch tends to shine at the big time, as it were. Do you think she's going to get their title back yet again, or does AJ win her first WrestleMania match in like over a decade? What do you think?
Ooh.
I think AJ Lee retains personally. This might be a good spot to put Paige, potentially just to kind of give a reason why Becky loses. Maybe I could see that too. If there's a thing you could build off that, I don't know.
Hold on, AJ is CM Punk's wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is CM Punk gonna win?
I don't.
There's no shot.
I hope not. But we'll get.
All right. Well, then I hope AJ wins.
You hope AJ wins. I think AJ. I think AJ's nice, but yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with AJ.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I give it to Becky. I mean, it's because isn't the story thus far that she can't beat AJ?
Yeah, I don't think she's done it one-on-one yet. So yeah.
So I think she beats her by hook or by crook, but she beats her. And
that's a good point.
And then Monday night.
Well, that's the thing with Paige too.
Coming out.
You could wait till Monday after Raw or Raw after Mania, because that's usually where some big returns sometimes happen. That's probably what I would do, but just because there'll be people complaining if you don't have big returns that night. I'll tell you that. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, Mike said he doesn't really know where the women's tag teams championships are going to go with that. He said probably champs retain. I think maybe Paige screws over AJ Lee. That's a possibility. Like I said, they got the history, so you could maybe do that if you wanted to give Becky the win there and give her first win over AJ Lee in singles competition. That's a good possibility for sure. Seth Rollins. Yeah, go ahead.
Where I thought Paige was going to be out for like ever.
Well, she had a neck injury, kind of like Bryan Danielson and Edge at the time, but she'd come back a few years ago for AEW, was doing all right there, and they just didn't end up using her, and they ended up her contract running out. So I don't think that's necessarily as big of an issue as it once was, but yeah, it's probably something always in the back of her mind for sure. But
it was kind of like that whole thing with Edge, where legitimately thought the man was never going to wrestle again, but.
Find out. It's interesting how that works. Yeah, I don't know if it was just like some extra, like
I mean, the same thing with Big Big E too, like with his neck injury.
You know what? Stuff. No, it's interesting because there's a lot of things like out there now that's coming out now that helps rebuild things, and I'm just wondering if.
And different countries have different like the little stem cell research stuff over in other countries. Like they're more involved there too. So I don't know if it's anything to that or just the time off itself just healed things. I don't know. But it's hard to tell. But for sure,
could be just diet and exercise. But even at that, that's good to know too.
Yeah, for sure. Seth Rollins and Gunther, I think on a 2-week build, they've done about everything they could possibly to make this interesting. And I think the two wrestlers have done a pretty good, solid job of building it. Obviously, this is not where the original plan was supposed to go. It's supposed to be Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, and potentially even Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. And of course, Rey Mysterio was injured, so that match didn't happen. But now that Gunther's booked with Rollins, Rey Mysterio's now in the ladder match. So it's almost like Rey going, "You ain't gonna retire me, Gunther."
He said, "Not yet,
not today, Satan." But and Rey Mysterio has been on record that he wants to be retired by his son Dominic. So I think that would be a great storyline for that to happen. But we'll see how that goes. But Rollins and Gunther, where would you go with this one? Like, there were reports saying that Braun was close to maybe getting ready to come back. Maybe Braun Breaker could come in here and cost Seth the match at least. maybe not something super physical, but maybe something like that. And then Gunther gets the win to build him up to whoever he wants to, whose career he wants to kill next down the line. That's probably the way I'd book it if Braun is anywhere close to returning, which is what Mike is saying here in the chat too. So that's just kind of where I'm going with it. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Seth.
That's the only thing I can think of, unless you have it be one of those no contest between the two. Whether it's, you know, Seth refuses to tap and Gunther refuses to let go of the chokehold, and you know, where the ref just throws out the match. Which, you know, if Braun isn't ready to come back, this could further and, you know, really build up a storyline for these two. SummerSlam or something. But
yeah, I fully expect Seth and
other than
Braun to be at SummerSlam for sure if they're both able to go. But I'm sure by then. But I don't know how far along Braun Breaker is, but I know I did hear reports that he was probably going to be close, but not 100% ready. So maybe you can make an appearance. So if that's the case, that would make a lot of sense. And then over the next few weeks, you start to build, and hopefully you get to the match down the line. But yeah, it'd be a big boost to the vision for sure, especially if Brock ends up taking more time off after the WrestleMania or whatnot, and Paul Heyman goes back to more of the vision role for sure. Over the last few weeks, it's mostly been Brock 100%. But yeah, I'd like to see him go back with the vision and maybe with Braun Breaker too. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I can see that happening. Gunther winning with the interference by Braun Breaker. That's where I'm going. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Fakir for the Women's World Championship. We didn't quite know if this match was even going to take place after the concussion protocol that Liv Morgan and
she had a knot on her forehead,
and Roxanne Perez both were in. But it sounds like this match is a go at this point. So yeah, I would just think that Liv Morgan, obviously before she got hurt, she was on this huge roll. I think now may be the time to give the world title back to her. I mean, nothing against Stephanie Fakir, but it doesn't seem like the title run has been living up to its most potential, I should say. So I think giving it back to Liv would be the right call here for business. So, and then you could do maybe Roxanne or Raquel. I mean, again, more schisms in the Judgment Day, or Paige, whatever you want to do. There's all sorts of things you can do with Liv, but that's where I'm going. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, you know, now Liv can get her shot that she had before she got hurt on some humdrum shit too. It was a backstage thing where she got hurt, just like with the concussion situation. It's a backstage angle and she got hurt. So like, I'm hoping.
Liv. You talking about Liv? Who'd you talking about?
Yeah.
Liv last time got hurt. No, Liv got hurt in the ring. It was like her shoulder went out. She came down like on her face.
Oh, it was the segment between her and Rhea, and Rhea's the one who got hurt.
Yeah, Rhea got hurt. Yeah.
Sorry. Attacked her. That was my fault. That was my fault.
No, you're fine.
I got confused.
Either way, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm going with Liv here too, for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I'm going with Liv, though.
And Stephanie will have some other good feuds down the line, and hopefully she'll be back up into the world title hunt before we know it. But I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion personally. But who knows? I've been wrong before. I was wrong about a lot of AEW Dynasty predictions, that's for sure, which we'll get into in just a minute. But
yes, you fucking were. I was right about a lot of them too.
We were wrong. Well, I think. In general, that show did not go at all like I planned, but more on that in just a minute. But the main event of night one of WrestleMania is obviously Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton, with Pat McAfee most likely at ringside, I guess. And Jelly Roll is probably going to play a role in this as well. But a lot of reports this week are coming out that Randy Orton is hurting coming into WrestleMania 42. So that's very interesting, considering the fact that Pat McAfee has gone on WWE television as of late and said if Randy Orton does not win this match and become the 15-time world champion, you will never see Pat McAfee in wrestling again in this business. So that's a heavy promise. So they're almost telegraphing it and telling you that Randy Orton is going to win this match. But if Randy Orton is hurting, and the reports were saying he just let executives know that this has become a problem, do they pull a swerve here and maybe let Cody retain and you never see Pat again? Will they have to go back on that stipulation? Or is this all kind of a red herring and Randy Orton is indeed walking out as the world champion here? If it's manageable, we do know that they want to do Randy Orton and Pat McAfee versus Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes at Backlash in a tag team match. So if that is indeed the plan, Randy Orton winning the title probably is going to happen here. How long he holds the belt due to his injuries, whatever they may be, big question mark. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting. And the main event on the other side on Sunday night's kind of got a similar situation, which we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, I'm going with Randy as long as everything can hold up here. But yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if they have to change their course here. What do you think?
I mean, I was going to pick Randy no matter what, but because like
I don't know. You know what? That is the biggest troll aside from Paul.
Yeah.
So I can see Randy losing this match and Pat saying, all right, I'm done. Walk away because of how many of you guys bitched about him last week. Last time we were
I wasn't dogging it. I was just giving you the perspective of people online.
Hey, I said you guys. I threw you all under the bus because
I'm more of a wait and see approach with this right now because it's only been a couple weeks, but
yeah,
it is kind of shoehorned at the end at the last minute. I will say that.
Mean, why would you put that stipulation? Because knowing that Pat wouldn't leave, no.
Yeah,
he would leave.
And knowing you want to do that match at Backlash, you know,
Pat also is part of College Game Day, so he's not going to be around
after SummerSlam
season.
You can do it this summer up till SummerSlam for sure. You can do whatever the storyline is, and there's a lot of speculation because last week on SmackDown, Pat McAfee is being protected by somebody higher up in like TKO or whatever it might be. A lot of speculation that maybe they pull the trigger on bringing Vince McMahon back in a storyline role. I hope not. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe he gets involved and it costs Cody the match, or it could be The Rock, even though The Rock was in Vegas this week promoting Moana at CinemaCon, but he's also said he's heading home now. Could he be lying? Or maybe we finally get the payoff with Cody not selling his soul to The Rock, and maybe The Rock comes out and costs Cody the match. Maybe, but don't hold your breath. But I'd rather have that than Vince. I'll tell you that. But
100%.
But yeah, if I'm a bet man, Cody wins this probably with Pat McAfee's help, and it sets up the Backlash match, and maybe Cody gets it a few months down the line. I don't know.
But that's the thing. Like I get, Cody is the biggest baby face they got, but at the same time, kind of fucking over babyface Cody. Like it's the same
what
thing.
What kind of injury does Randy have?
Don't know. The reports were just saying he's hurting right now.
They're setting it up for him to lose, guys. Like, I don't care what.
Either they're just trying to throw you off the scent. He's hurt. He's not going to win. And then he does. And he's perfectly fine. I don't know. There's always that too. I don't know. It's you know wrestling, especially when it comes to big shows like this, they're going to throw it all. And of course, you had Cody Rhodes going to Pat McAfee's show, tearing up his set this week to regain his title that Pat took. You know, things like that. Hilarious. A lot of crazy stuff going on.
The Pat is good at two things when it comes to cutting.
Did he have him arrested too, by the way, if I'm not mistaken?
Maybe that was something. I know he called the police or something.
Well, I know Cody got away with the belt at one point, I thought, but yeah. Anyway.
But Pat is good at two things, especially when he does his promos. His body language and facial expression. Pat comes off like especially this heel version of Pat. Because normally Pat's full of energy. He's Mr. Go-Getter. He's on the good guy's side. But like when he gets into this mode, because he does it on his show every once in a while too, where he plays like devil advocate sometimes on his show,
right?
And
which is kind of what I try to do here, just so you know.
But the way he does it, it comes off like this. I'm trying to think of think of Bobby the Brain Heenan in the sense of where like he was so animated about when he was wrong. You know what I mean? It's over the top, but it comes off this very pompous fucking way, but comical. So like when he's talking about this, his inflections and the way he's flinching his body like a child, protesting the fact that his place got broken into by a guy who got let in, watched him destroy the shit and did nothing about it.
Is that what I got to do on the show? Flinch?
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stop your feet type shit.
Yeah. It's cool, that kind of thing.
But I find it to be very entertaining. So like I know would I want Randy to win? Yes, for a myriad of fucking reasons. And like I said, I'm over the whole. I want to see heel Cody. I want to see the Cody that we saw on the Indies when he was trying to prove that he could do this. You know,
and this could lead to that if you've done properly. They've been kind of hinting at it for 6 months now. Potentially him going to the darker side,
Randy's a great catalyst for that. He he was Cody's mentor. Cody's one of Cody's best friends. When Cody came back, Randy was his biggest supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And then now he's turned his back on him. He's done all this shit. This is a great breaking point for Cody to realize that, you know what, you're right, Randy. If I want to be at the top, I need to be like, you know, an apex predator.
Like Orton in a way, yeah. Like, and if you want to play the long game with this, Orton could, like, even as champion or whatever it may be, could get into Cody's head, much like Pat supposedly got into Orton's head, and be like, hey, you've got to go this extra mile if you really want to get back to the greatness that you once had. You've got to take it to another level, and Orton's a perfect guy to do that in storyline if you wanted to. So we'll see how it plays out here. I had a few chats here from Mike. I don't know if you mentioned this one, but he said, I think Liv Morgan gets her WrestleMania moment here. I agree. I fully do. Also said, maybe somehow Randy Orton wins, but doesn't get the title. Maybe Cody gets DQ'd. Maybe Pat pisses off Cody Rhodes so bad he snaps and injures Orton getting disqualified. Orton takes time off. Cody keeps the title, and Pat McAfee technically doesn't have to go against his vow. See, you got one flaw with that, though. If Cody gets disqualified, Cody does not lose the belt. And Pat McAfee said if Randy Orton doesn't win the 15-time world championship belt, he would have to leave. So that's the one flaw in your logic. Otherwise, I like your thinking.
But it's still a technicality, though. It's still like, because he got DQ'd. Orton never did the pin, or Norton got pinned. It was a DQ. So, like, I guess it's a workaround in a sense. I could see, you know, where
Pat can kind of weasel his way out of it, like, well, I'm a bad guy, you know, that sort of thing. But I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time too that we've reneged on some stipulations before in pro wrestling too.
But I do feel like,
especially if you're a heel,
Orton is going to get this title run. I mean, I don't know the way. I don't know.
It all depends on them injuries too, whether they're real or not, in my opinion. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll welcome in our Faceless Dragon, Aaron, by the way, here with a real quick aside there before we get into night 2. So yeah, welcome, buddy.
Yeah. Hey.
What's going on?
So, well, I just wanted to tell you real quick. So anytime I'm about to get on the podcast, I just kind of click on the previous one, right? And then I adjust the numbers and letters, right? So, and generally when I do that, it says, oops, something went wrong and this isn't the right one. But today I did it and it was about to let me in and I was like, should I hit join?
Just to see
I
what
was
happens?
like, yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I have a hard time believing anything would have happened, but
no,
as far as I know, I killed that stream. That's weird.
No. I think it was somebody else's stream.
Oh, well, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
You should have joined. Be like, hey, who's this? What's up?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Trump? No.
Yeah. I don't know. It was nervous. It made me nervous. And I thought it would be funny, but at the same time, I was like, what if I end up in something I don't want to end up in?
you get in a stream and they're like doing satanic witchcraft and like you're just like the sore thumb stuck in, it's hilarious. Anyway,
I mean, I could click into it again and see what happens.
You better stay here amongst friends. That's all.
I mean, hey, I can even present it and you can all watch it with me.
Oh,
yeah.
What
That's
happens?
crazy.
Dragon's Den After Dark's really going to take off.
I'm not going to be a part of that.
Yeah, it could be interesting. But what else could be interesting is, of course, Sunday, night 2 of WrestleMania, obviously, kicking off the night with the big match that I probably, outside of Roman and CM Punk, my most anticipated match of the weekend, Femi versus Brock freaking Lesnar. So
I like that transition.
Yeah. Hey, every now and then I got smooth. But anyway, but Michael's like he said many times, Oba wins or we riot. I highly don't think WWE would be that dumb to have Brock Lesnar beat Oba Femi.
No, that's a Vince move. That's a Vince move, like 100%. I think
would be so high on Oba. I don't think he would even do with Oba. But
I don't see a world where Oba loses this match unless he gets hurt egregiously, which, knock on wood, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Oba
He's your next
is
big
going
thing
to beat Lesnar. Yeah, 100%. And I think because you rarely get matches where Lesnar is fully into his opponent. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah,
he's been really into this thing with Oba. Like, and he is First of all, he is bumping his ass off for Oba. The last time I seen Lesnar bump for somebody, like legitimately bump for somebody, was AJ Styles.
Right.
In that match that they had. Like, he's been bumping his ass off for Oba. So I feel like, this would do gangbusters for Oba.
You know, Lesnar can't do anything but respect Oba. Like, he's not American. He's not anything that Lesnar could have ever wrestled and beaten or fought and beaten. So,
I mean, there's not many guys that Brock have to literally look up to a little bit. I mean, there's not many guys who come through who are bigger than him.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know what? I was at work today. So I had to stop in at the tobacco store today, right? And I ended up on the register for a minute. So I scanned this dude's ID and it said he was 22 years old. This motherfucker was absolutely huge. Like, I've never seen a 22-year-old kid this fucking big. Man. And I go back, I'm like, Jenny, do you know he was only 22 years old? Like, I am in shock.
But yeah, she's right.
Probably plays football or something.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. Well, he looked like he was a construction worker. He had like neon colors on. I don't know.
But Oba, Oba's legitimately strong too. Like, you remember, he caught Brock in that pop-up powerbomb. Like, brother. Like, and I it's okay from a big man's perspective. When you get lifted up in the air by somebody's strength, it's jarring to you. You understand me? Because you're not. So, like, when that pop up came and Oba popped his ass up,
jarring.
Yeah.
Little shout out to our British guys. I don't know their names.
They may be watching. WrestleMania is an international event, by the way. So yeah. Anyway,
I doubt they're watching.
Quick aside, you may not think so, but we had over 300 viewers last week, which is pretty good for our little podcast. So if you take all of our viewers from Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and X, over 300 last week. So thank you to everybody who watched last week.
Yeah,
and hope you guys are convinced. Yeah, for sure. But anyway,
Oba beats Lesnar. Also, fun fact: didn't know Oba does not like pizza. So.
Really? Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
One knock against Oba. I mean,
that's definitely not American.
Yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Is he Nigerian?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought he was.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's what I thought.
I think he's Nigerian.
To me, it doesn't matter what he is. All I know is this should be one hell of a fight. It's got box office written all over it. Oba has got aura for days. He's over with the crowd, and he's only been on WWE television since what, the Rumble? So it's this guy, if done properly, could be in one of your bigger main event type level matches at Mania next year. This guy you strap the rocket to this guy right now and send him to the moon. I mean, as much as you can. I mean, I wouldn't put him in the world championship like main events right away, but by the end of the year, going into next year, if you continue to build him up, for certain. The question is going to become who does he go after Lesnar? I mean, because he's going to be, if he can beat Lesnar, he's going to be able to beat anybody on the roster.
You're going to have to bring in a couple more giants.
He is 27.
Omos,
oh my God.
Can do that.
Yeah, he is 27. He was born in 98. He's from Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
He played for the University of Alabama as a shot putter. That's a lot of upper body strength.
He's probably got some records there, I imagine.
Yeah. Men's break. He was in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge for his wrestling. He was in NXT's men's breakout deal.
I believe that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He competed in track and field in high school and college.
Man. Well, I agree with Mike in the chat. Mike said if waste of money wins, meaning Brock Lesnar, he can go to hell. Little harsh, but I get your sentiment. Jesus. I agree that this is a slam dunk booking scenario here. There's no reason for Brock Lesnar to win this match. None. No. If they do, it's the dumbest decision I've seen WWE make in a while. But yeah, it would be terrible. I want Brock to put up a fight. Well, here's the thing. Do you want this to be competitive or do you want Oba to roll him?
I want it to be one of those things where Brock Lesnar comes in like he always does, full of confidence and dominance, because that's what he is. He runs into that brick wall, and you see it slowly diminish before he just gets fucking steamrolled by Oba.
Okay, so a little bit, maybe start kind of slowly losing confidence. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, and I'd be fine with that too. Either way, it's fine with me. Oba wins. I think it should be slam dunk all the way around. We should all agree.
I don't think this match is longer than. I'll give this match 10 minutes. I don't think.
Yeah, probably. 10 minutes. Yeah, don't want to overstay its welcome. Get in, get out, but at the same time, make Oba look like a superstar. Kickoff night too. I think it's perfect.
Just hopefully it's not as disappointing of a pin as John Cena. Just saying.
Oh, you mean the tap out stuff? Yeah, I mean, I understand it didn't quite live up to some people's.
No, this is going to be a 1, 2, 3. He is getting. Yeah. Brock's going to get 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and he should. I mean, Brock, especially if Brock's coming up to retirement, maybe by the end of the year, it's time for him to start doing the good thing in the business and start putting the younger talent over. So I think that's what will happen here for sure. And Mike said, if Waste of Money wins, it'll prove the rumors of Vince maybe having some input in things being true. F. Lesnar. Yeah, I don't know if I believe those rumors about Vince, but if they were to bring him back, maybe. I hope they don't do that. If they do bring him back, I hope it's strictly storyline role only, not input and creative. But with the way TKO's going, they very well could put him back in there too, for all I know. We'll see what ends up happening. We also got on the first hour on ESPN for night 2, the Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Dragon Lee, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, JD McDonough, Penta, and Javon Evans. Personally, I think Penta probably retains here. If not, Javon Evans is probably the most likely. Rey Mysterio, the only reason I would say maybe him is because, again, I wouldn't mind seeing Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in Ray's last match, maybe for the Intercontinental title that Dominic.
Oh wait, the Mexicans are on me in the ladder match.
Except for Rusev and JD McDonough and James. There's three out of the 6.
Well, I know I'm talking about the flippy jumpy flying shit. I'm not watching it.
That's my one criticism of WWE. It seems like anytime there's a Mexican superstar, it's always in a Mexican type feud for the most part. I would like to see them push a Mexican in some more meaningful things. I'm hoping they're going to do that with Dominic, and they did with Ray for a lot of years.
Maybe it's a language barrier.
I mean, that could be. It's very possible too. That was the thing with Okada and AEW for a while. Yeah, I mean that's very possible. And I know Vince always had a hard time, signing a lot of wrestlers who couldn't speak English or had broken English. He didn't like that on television. But Triple H has kind of been more of, we'll just put subtitles below their promos and film them backstage.
For Nakamura,
right, especially Nakamura.
But I know his English ain't the greatest, but it's not bad.
It's getting better.
It's not bad. So is Ray Phoenix.
I would love to have seen Ray in this match. I don't know why they didn't, but
because who are you gonna take out?
Fair. I don't know. I'm not overly enthused with this match in general. I just feel like it's a bunch of guys they've thrown at the screen. Rey Mysterio is the one that kind of makes more sense because, again, it's his last WrestleMania potentially. So you want to get him on the card. I think it makes more sense if Ray wins the title, but I don't think that's going to happen either. But never say if Ray wins the title, Dominic Mysterio is definitely losing, which I think he is anyway, to Demon Finn Balor, which is our next match I want to talk about here. And eventually it's going to lead to Dominic versus Ray down the line in Ray's retirement match. I honestly believe that probably sometime this year, maybe this summer. SummerSlam would be a great spot for it.
Or maybe Ray could win the AAA title and they could have a
possibility. Yeah. They're already doing, which, by the way, side note, they're doing the 2 El Grande Americano match at May 30th at a AAA show. So it's not going to be at WrestleMania, but Mask versus Mask, the 2 El Grande Americanos, will finally go mask to mask, and we're going to find out who is the original and who is the real American.
That's going to be crazy, man. So, I can't not wait to see who is under that fucking mask.
It's hard to tell, man. I got no clue.
We've been speculating for a long time.
Oh my gosh.
And we're finally gonna find at least one of them for sure. We'll find out which one it is.
And it's I'm just glad it's happening. It may not be at WrestleMania, but we're gonna get it on May 30th. So right around the corner.
And Miranda, we can finally put it to bed, because you have a weird conspiracy that it's Chad Gable, which is crazy work.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Chad Gable don't have a beard. That's stupid.
I know. I have no idea where you. No, I hear what you said.
What'd you say?
I said it's gonna be Hornswoggle.
Oh,
I would die. I would fucking die.
Wait, El Mini Americano? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Mini taco.
It writes itself.
Oh.
Come on, dude. Like, I'd be down for that 1,000%. So, yeah.
That's going to be a good match, though. Like,
yeah.
Legitimately. Mike
match. Said the most bouncy ladder match ever. We'll see Penta win it. Yeah, I if I'm a betting man, I think Penta retains. I really do. And it guesses on the identity of either Americanos.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Been on this thing that it's Chad Gable. I don't believe at all.
I don't get it.
When is he supposed to come back from his injury? By the way, I know it's been a minute.
It's been a hot second since he got hurt. I know that.
Yeah.
And I know we've
can't
not
wait to
seen
see him on Raw, dude. Because like he was crushing it when he was.
I'm still trying to figure out where the world Pete Dunne's been. Tyler Bate, Ludwig Kaiser. Whatever happened to that guy?
Whatever happened to
you guys are ridiculous.
What a heater for a while. What happened?
I know who it's going. It's Wendy Richter. That's who it is. One of the
you know what?
Google search.
Shut up, man in the chair.
Yeah, you don't get to talk.
Yeah. I mean, Giovanni Vinci. Right? Whatever happened to Giovanni Vinci? It's probably him. Dude, that whole Imperial team just spilled up, went all across the world. So
I know.
Maybe one landed in Mexico.
You know what? They brought back one of the you remember the French guys? No. I can't remember the fucking guy's name.
Which side? Yeah. Well, which side note, by the way, there's a little bit of an AEW side note. FTR, after beating Cope and Cage, said that they now challenge any professional wrestler, whether it be CMLL, Mexico, Europe, or wherever they want, New Japan. A part of me goes, please have Cope and Cage bring back the Los Conquistadors. Just once.
Oh my God. Yeah. When they wrestled under a mask. Oh my Lord.
Dude. If they do that, I'll lose it. I'll be like, take my money. Just be done with it. But we'll see how that goes. But no, moving on to Balor and Mysterio. If you're bringing back the Demon, I think Demon rolls here. I think, but then again, I mean, they are very high on Dominic, and Dominic is doing great at what he's been asked to do. I'd be totally fine if he were to win, but you just got to make it believable. But with the Demon being a whole nother ball game, I think Finn gets his revenge here, as it were, and Mysterio gets his comeuppance. But again, he's going to be able to move on with the AAA World Title, maybe the Intercontinental title down the line. So it won't be all she wrote for Dom. And not to mention, Finn got pinned by Dominic last year at WrestleMania. It makes all the sense in the world for Mysterio to kind of
that was a banger of a match too.
Yeah, where he won the Intercontinental title, so which was a great moment too, for sure. That's a good point. Mike said that WWE might own the Conquistadors gimmick. That may be true, but you could still do like the mask and the full body suit. Just call it something different.
Just call it something else. Yeah,
but everybody will know what you're referencing for sure. And then he said, why does Aaron think Google has the answer to this mystery? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like Google's, Google's wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah, especially in wrestling. That's crazy.
Yeah, you got to look up, Grok or something. I don't know.
I'm sure Grok would say the same thing that I read on Google.
Grok and Google,
I doubt it.
Go Grok themselves.
So
I've
been talking to Grok with voice text, and yesterday I keep forgetting that if I don't shut it off, it's not going to shut off. So yesterday, I was like, you're a liar. Because I was asking about the 2020 election. And she's like, well, call me what you want. But
I would have liked to have seen that argument, because that would have been funny.
Oh, it was good. It was good.
Mike said that Finn Balor will exercise his demon against Dom. Mike with the puns, or whatever you want to call those. What is that? Is that a pun? Like,
so to speak, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what, but he loves to do it.
Puns.
But now you've done it. You just egged him on to do it more.
Great,
great. Yeah, good job, brother.
He's gonna every fucking comment's gonna be a pun.
3 more matches to go, so let's get through this because we're running a little long here. But Jade Cargill defending her women's WWE Championship against Rhea Ripley. Again, they've had this belt on Jade Cargill for months. She's barely been in the ring. I think they give it to Ripley here. It's like they put it on her.
Mommies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Michin and B-Fab are going to get involved, but Io Sky will probably help out. Maybe Bianca Belair makes an appearance. You could do the Paige appearance here, possibly. But I think Mommy gets the title back here because they're clearly not high on Jade Cargill in the ring. I don't know what it is, but they're not using her. When they do, it's real quick, get in, get out. We'll see if Mommy and Rhea Ripley herself can bring her to a good match here. But yeah, I think they've realized that Rhea Ripley is the better candidate. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, unless Bianca's coming back, or Naomi's not coming back yet. So,
Rhea is my pick, but I wish they'd stop calling her Mommy.
No, they have. These two haven't.
Well, I know, but a lot of people feel like Rhea's lost too much of her momminess, I guess it was, because she's lost a lot of weight due to her back issues and with her muscle mass.
Nah,
she's gotten real skinny.
She's still muscle mommy.
I just said it because Aaron said it mostly, but yeah. But
muscle,
anyway, muscle mommy. So yeah,
not only muscle mommy, but kind of goth muscle mommy, and I'm here for it.
For sure. His buddy Matthew's mommy, that's for sure. That's more for After Dark. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. And he's still with AEW as far as I know, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to jump over to WWE. Wouldn't be surprised for sure.
I'm just saying, when is he coming back to wrestling, period?
That I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So
maybe he's one of the masked wrestlers.
Yeah, maybe he's one of the hooded individuals that Seth's been running around with.
Brother, that would be insanity.
That would be pretty dope, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mike also said, I'm trying to figure out still who Mr. America was back in 2003. I don't know. That big blonde mustache did not give anything away. I couldn't.
That was the worst mask ever.
In case you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's this little guy right here. So that's Mr. America. So if you couldn't tell who that is, I don't know, man. It's still a mystery to everybody. So we'll have to wait to see.
I remember when he did that. I was like, no shot.
No shot. I mean, he had the same music and everything.
The same music and everything.
Yeah. He also said Jade Cargill is so unimpressive to me. Rhea proves to be Jade's mommy here. And the thing is with Jade Cargill, when she was in AEW, they played to her strengths and didn't highlight much of the weaknesses. WWE, I feel like once they got her, they realized how green she actually was. And once they did, she's got the look for sure. But I think they feel like her in-ring is not quite up to snuff. But they gave her the title because, obviously, like I said, she's got the look, she's got the presence. Her promo skills are okay. But in-ring, it still leaves a little bit to be desired. She can ever get that corrected. But she's one of those women who I feel like is trying to use WWE as a springboard to, like, Hollywood. Doesn't necessarily care about wrestling as much. That's just my opinion. But that's kind of the way I feel like maybe they view it as well. But I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But, that's the kind of way I see it, too. Also, we got the United States Championship match, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. This one I've obviously said last week that I feel like maybe they should have had some more involved, like Ilya Dragunov, maybe Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes kind of got a little bit of the shaft here. But do you think they're giving the title right to Trick Williams here, kind of hot shot it to Sami Zayn so he could drop it to Trick? Obviously, Trick would definitely get a big pop being the big new name from NXT. Or do you think Sami Zayn retains here, getting his WrestleMania moment before, and maybe still trying to chase that big one down the line? What do you think?
I think Zayn wins.
Mm-hmm. Should be a fun match.
It's going to be a fun match regardless, but I think Zayn wins. I don't know.
This one's a tough one. It really is. It's kind of like, okay, either way. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I still kind of wish they'd maybe added Carmelo, and maybe they did tonight on SmackDown. I don't know. But I feel like that would have been one you could have left him involved.
Yeah. I think Trick wins this one.
Mm-hmm. It would make sense to kind of put it on him, kind of big moment for the new guy, get him over with the crowd,
Even more than he already fucking is.
Yeah. What is his shoes called? Lemon
pepper. He's a lemon pepper stepper.
Lemon pepper stepper. Yeah. Which I'm like, all right. I had to look up what that was. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, of course you did, because it involves black people. You know what, man?
I'm not cultured. Just saying, whatever it might be. But yeah, I'm going Trick Williams. Whoop that Trick right here for sure. Anybody else got any thoughts on it other than them? No. All right. Well, Trick it is.
I don't know where they're gonna go from there, though.
I don't know.
I mean, you could tell the story between him and Carmelo, but
yeah,
I don't know.
For sure. You could. He said they should have had Carmelo versus Trick, but they decided to get zany, and put it on Sammy. Williams pulls off a Trick and wins it. I mean, sure. Are you trying to kill our viewership? Like, for real?
I told you what was going to happen.
Right.
That was fucking insane.
Well, moving on. The main event of WrestleMania Night 2, and of course the main event overall, CM Punk finally gets his Night 2 main event. Last year, he got his first, I guess, technically main event of WrestleMania, Night 1 against Roman and Seth Rollins in the triple threat match that Seth Rollins ended up winning. But CM Punk said many, many years ago, probably over 10 years ago at this point, that the actual main event of WrestleMania, he's always considered it to be the last match on the main show, which is where he is this year. So he finally gets that moment, whether or not he believes the same way he used to when it comes to the main event or not. But he is now officially the main event of main events at the WrestleMania show. World Heavyweight title match against Roman Reigns.
To Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns, especially this week, has been on a promo tirade. He did one in his car on the way some venue, and it was just completely on fire, talking about how he doesn't understand why he feels like you're on the same effing level as him. It's insane to him. Like, don't put his name in your mouth type situation. Like, it was absolutely glorious. And to me, as much, I'm not a fan of CM Punk outside the ring, especially. I was once a big fan of him in the ring, but the more I've learned about the man himself, sometimes it kind of takes me out of it a bit. But that's just my personal opinion of the guy. It's just a point, I think, in CM Punk's career too, where, as Roman's pointed out, he looks slower. He is older. I feel like this is a spot for Roman Reigns to regain, I should say, his throne as the tribal chief. But I hope that's what they do. But then again, there's going to be some fans out there, or if that is what they do, they're going to think, well, we've already seen the bloodline stuff way too many times, or should we go back to the old well again, giving it back to Roman? I just feel like it's the best place for it. Punk, we'll see what happens with him. Obviously, he's getting a little older in his career too. I don't know how much more time he has, but I think it just makes the most sense in the world to put it back on Roman. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
No, 100% correct. It makes more sense to put it back on Roman. Roman's young enough to face guys like Oba. Roman's believable enough to face guys like Oba. I don't see. I mean, you got Seth Rollins in the wing. You got Braun Breaker. It just makes more sense for Roman. You know what I mean? Like, again, Punk is, I don't know. Like, is it getting to that point to where he's probably done or should be done wrestling? Probably
in the next year or so, I would think. That's just my opinion. They got a lot of guys over the next year. Ray, CM Punk, Brock. I mean, and Brock can still go a little bit more, but Punk is showing his age in the ring, and it actually works in Punk's favor that he's wrestling Roman, because we've talked about how Roman Reigns works a more slow, methodical style where he likes to trash talk and stuff. I expect a lot of that in this match, and Roman's even stated that within the first few minutes, you're going to know that this was definitely no chance for CM Punk. So I think this is going to play into that storyline. I think they're going to lean heavily into that. A little bit of smoke and mirrors, which will be fine for them. As long as they don't pull in some wacky celebrity like Travis Scott at the end of this is probably going to be a better Night 2 main event than last year's was. So I think in that regard, you got a lot to look forward to there. And we'll see what they do, because I don't know where you go with Punk as the world champion moving forward. I don't know how much more you could get out of that. Roman's got some more life in those wheels, I think, if that is what they want to end up doing. That's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't know who's the next story if Punk wins.
I don't know. Because then again, now a lot of people were speculating if Roman wins, Oba Femi walks out tomorrow night or Monday night on Raw, faces off against Roman. I don't know if you want to go there just yet, because I don't know if you could crown Roman right away or Oba right away against Roman. But would it be a great stare down? Oh, hell yeah, it would. But, I just don't know if that's where you want to go right away. Next year's WrestleMania? Maybe. If it's not Roman versus Rock, as the rumors have it. But, yeah, I mean, they definitely get the crowd excited if they were to do it. But, yeah, I think Roman is your champion after this weekend. Mike said, Eric, you acted like you wanted to have Punk's children. Not so much. But now, yes. Not to the extent there, but yeah, you're right. I did like CM Punk, especially during the whole Punk against the authority stuff, because again, that type of storyline always sells. Austin versus McMahon. I mean, we've seen it over and over again throughout the years. That when Punk was at that level where he was taking the title and leaving and against Vince, yeah, of course I did, because I think it was mostly due to the storyline. But you're right, I was a big Punk fan at the time, and I still like Punk to some level. But once I learned more about him personally, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And he says, I think Punk wins just to fulfill his dream of winning the main event. And you know what? That you're not wrong there, because Punk did lose last year to Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. So do they give the win to Punk? Surely, for the simple fact that he's main eventing Night 2 for the first time ever. I don't know if they will or not, but I've seen stranger things. So that's just,
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you make a good
where
point,
do you
though.
go from here? Like where? Because if Punk wins, where do we go?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. But I mean, you're not wrong. I can maybe see him pulling that trigger, but I think it's going to be Roman. He also says maybe Oba the ruler is the one that takes down for good the Roman Empire. And you very well could. If Rock is not going to do it next year, Oba versus Roman at Mania 43, totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. As long as you continue to book Oba as this killer and he has to slay the tribal chief once and for all. For sure. And you can even do some bloodline stuff in there if you want to over the next year. Maybe, I mean, I don't know, maybe like Oba can build like this Wakanda type. I don't know, maybe not. But
Wakanda.
Yeah, for whatever. But I don't know. You could, I'm just saying, you maybe do something like that.
No.
He has his own tribe against the tribal chief. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay. Side rant. I'm tired of the whole ever since. Huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm tired of the whole anytime there is either a secret organization of black people or a space black people thing, it always seems to relate so much to Wakanda. And it's do your own gosh dang thing.
But the character is kind of Wakanda-esque though. When his presentation, the accent, the whole thing. So it would make, I get what you're saying, but yeah, you're right. But at the same time, based on what they've got his character, which may have been just completely ripped from the Wakanda stuff. I don't know, but it works for him though. I'm not going to lie to you. The ruler, the conqueror, as it were, whatever it is. Yeah. And not only that, he cuts a hell of a promo, by the way. For a young guy coming out of NXT, absolutely great.
Oba is not the type of guy you stick in a faction or you build a faction.
Fair enough. And he wouldn't need it. No, he could wipe out a faction by himself.
Yeah. So I think, sure, you could have that stare down moment with him and Roman, and where you build Oba up to face Roman, and it probably could be a good storyline for that reason. It's just with Punk. Let's say you're right. You and Mike are right that they want to give Punk that moment, and he beats Roman. Then Monday you have Oba come out. I don't give a shit what you say. There's no believable circumstance where you think that at the end of the day, Oba's losing to CM Punk.
Definitely not.
Especially
Roman, I can believe he loses.
Yes. But not CM Punk. So what, do you hold off on that Oba thing and Braun eventually beats him so him and Seth could have their match?
I forget about Braun in this equation. You're right. Braun was the anointed one, as it were, before he got hurt. He was going to be the guy to probably eventually overtake the world title somewhere and become the next champion. So, yeah, it all depends on where he's at in his recovery. That could very well be where they go next. And then Oba, again, Braun and Oba one day is going to be the main event of WrestleMania at some point. And that's going to be a fight, too. So, and again, I can almost believe Braun, given the right circumstances, he probably needs some help from the Vision against Oba. But yeah, that could be great. Absolutely could be great. Before we move on to AEW real quick, and we'll get through AEW pretty quickly since we're getting a late here. But Mike said, quick question. Am I the only one that thinks Nick Khan is an absolute idiot? Top of brass of WWE there. In what way are you referring would be my question. There may be a lot of ways you could go about that. So maybe you can clarify a little bit. We'll answer that when you get back to us. All right. So AEW, just real quick on their side of things. They had some big things happen this week too, real quick. We'll talk about real fast and we'll move on from it. Will Ospreay last week said that in an interview that AEW should at least consider doing a really huge show in the United States next year when WrestleMania 43 is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And then, of course, price it more reasonable so where fans can actually go. So when fans in Saudi, or some fans who probably will travel to Saudi because it is WrestleMania, but for those who can't and still want to have a big show next year during WrestleMania weekend, he thinks that AEW should put on a big show here in the States. Originally, when I first thought about this, was two things. One, will fans become exhausted that weekend because WrestleMania itself is a 2-day event? Number two would be like, okay, would they be at the same time? But it was pointed out to me that WrestleMania 43 would probably be earlier in the day on the East Coast of the United States. So you could probably potentially do a late AEW show on either the Saturday or the Sunday that evening, and it wouldn't even be on at the same time as WrestleMania. So you could potentially do it. So does Will make a good point here? Ospreay thinking that maybe AEW should at least consider putting on something big to kind of counteract AEW while they're away across the globe in Saudi Arabia, or maybe you should just kind of stay clear of it as they have been so far.
I don't know. I mean, WrestleMania is still WrestleMania. You know, it's still a lot of wrestling for one fucking day, and then you're going to tune into another pay-per-view that's going to be what, another 2-3 hours,
maybe 4 or 5 way AEW's been doing it.
Yeah, so like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's a good idea. I see the point, but because you're in the market, you know what I mean. But it's still one of the biggest times for wrestling. Like, do you really
And to that point, WrestleMania weekend has always been about more than just WWE. We've had independent shows for the last, on Fridays and Saturdays before the big main event. NXT used to be a thing as well during Saturday afternoon as well. I don't think they got anything going on this year. It's on the Tuesday night shows this week and last week. And AEW's obviously had their shows during the week this week too. So WrestleMania has always been about just celebrating wrestling as a whole across the globe. So it would make a lot of sense to do it. But yeah, just the fatigue of it, and then of course, being in the same day, it's a lot of wrestling to consume. It really, really is. But I think from a business standpoint, it does make a lot of sense. So we'll see what they end up doing. But it was just a suggestion Ospreay had, which I thought was pretty cool. Mike said about Nick Khan. He said Nick Khan always defending the ticket sales, going to Saudi, still just about those things. Remember, in Saudi, they start at like 11 a.m. or so here in the States, so AEW could do a night show. Absolutely. That's what I was trying to say there. So, yeah, I mean, Nick Khan, if he's continuing to, defend the ticket sales and going to Saudi, some of that stuff he probably needs to rethink. But that's a lot of it, again, is just TKO wanting to maximize profit. Like, even though they're down like 20,000 in ticket sales this year, they're probably still making about the same amount of money as they did last year based on the price. So is it really hurting them from a business standpoint? Probably not. So it's probably not going to really affect WWE whatsoever. But yeah, when it comes to just getting in long term, you look at this long term, you just can't sustain with those type of ticket prices. You can't. But they will, as long as people will continue to pay it. So, we'll see how it plays out. AEW had Dynasty last week. Like I said, got a lot of predictions wrong there. Every single Canadian lost in Canada, including Copen Cage, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega. So I was dead wrong on all of those. And then, of course, we lose one Kyle on AEW television. Kyle Fletcher, you gain another one. Kyle O'Reilly did return, though, to team with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong to win the AEW World Trios Championships after the Dogs won them one night earlier on Collision, which I thought they were hot shot in the belts there. I hope they keep these titles on these guys for a while, because those trios titles have now changed hands 5 times in 4 months. Stop changing the belts so much in that regard. But good to see Kyle O'Reilly back there for sure. We also got a new TNT champion. As I mentioned, Kyle Fletcher is out due to injury. So the vacant title has now been won by Kevin Knight in the Casino Gauntlet match on Dynasty. So good to see the young guy here. They've kind of been anointing Kevin Knight as the next guy to kind of maybe become main event level. I know Swerve Strickland's definitely been pushing him to the moon. So I think it's good for him to kind of continue his development. But the biggest thing that happened on AEW television this week was, of course, the finally anointing of Darby Allin as AEW World Champion here. We even talked about it a few weeks ago about how if Darby was able to beat Andrade at Dynasty, he was going to get a world title opportunity against MJF or Kenny Omega. Since MJF was able to beat Omega, he faced Darby Allin on Dynamite this week. And Darby Allin finally, after 4 different AEW World Championship match opportunities, Darby Allin finally won the big one here as one of the pillars of AEW. Even Grandpa Sting, his former mentor, even showed up on Dynamite to kind of spur Darby Allin on. And of course, once this happened, everybody in the building and everybody watching at home had to have known that Darby was definitely going to win the title this time, because you don't go to all this trouble and not pull the trigger, especially in the place where Darby Allin started his wrestling career, Everett, Washington. So, of course, Darby also this last year went to Mount Everest, took the AEW flag to the top of the mountain and planted the flag there. And now AEW has planted their flag on Darby Allin moving forward as the world champion, as he beats MJF in pretty quick fashion. He beat him after MJF hit him with a low blow, Darby countered with a low blow of himself, 4 coffin drops, and then a headlock takeover pin to beat MJF. And for those of you who've been watching AEW television for any length of time, you know the whole storyline between MJF and Darby, where MJF has beaten Darby now twice with the headlock takeover, and now Darby Allin, MJF is repaying that favor to Darby, allowing him to pin him with the same maneuver. So it does make a lot of narrative sense that's been going on with the long-term storytelling. And for those of you who don't think that this is just, or who actually think that this is a one-time thing and AEW wasn't actually thinking this through, here's the timeline of events since January alone. Darby Allin beat Moxley, then ran through the Death Riders. He's been undefeated in singles action this year completely. On March 11th, Kyle Fletcher grows suspicious that Don Callis and MJF are working together on something. A week later, Darby beats Gabe Kidd in a coffin match, but cuts a promo after saying, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, I'm coming for the title. Same night, MJF is set to face Kenny Omega. His bigger concern is Darby Allin, though, on the show. He pays the Don Callis family to handle the Darby problem. He's already looking ahead, confident he can beat Kenny Omega. March 25th, the Don Callis family take out Darby for Maxwell Jacob Friedman because that's the guy Max fears the most. April 1st, Darby cuts another promo calling out MJF and telling him that he's scared. April 8th, the clearest sign that Darby was the one. He cuts a promo laying out exactly why he wants to win the world title. On April 12th, he challenges MJF after beating Andrade at Dynasty. And of course, this week, the entire episode was built around telling you that Darby is the guy. So for those of you who think that Darby was just given the title on a whim, not true. This has been telegraphed for months. So yeah, and this is just one of those things that, again, AEW television does things differently than WWE. If you watch WWE, like you can watch WWE on YouTube's reels or shorts and clips and pretty much get the storytelling what WWE is doing. AEW does things a little bit differently where they reward you for paying attention to the details. If you weren't paying attention to all this stuff that happened over the last 4 months, you'd have thought this was just done on a whim. But it wasn't. But again, you wouldn't have got that through the clip. So it's just a little bit different, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just different. This now also means that Darby Allin is officially the first Triple Crown winner in AEW history with the world title, TNT Championship, and the Tag Team Championships as well. So what are your thoughts on Darby Allin winning the world title? This was kind of controversial this week for the reasons that I kind of stated, but and of course everybody's like, well, MJF got squashed. MJF got squashed by Brody King earlier this year too, to put over Brody King. I'm guaranteeing you MJF okayed the squashing by Darby Allin too. Darby Allin's allowed him to win the title from him or off of him and things like that in the past and win the title matches that they've had. This is just him repaying the favor, as I said. So this was probably MJF's idea. So everybody complaining about that, I think, needs to kind of take a step back. But what did you guys think? I thought it was well done. I actually thought it was one of the better title changes. It kind of gave me when Mick Foley won the title vibes from Raw way back in the day. It's kind of way, or Jeff Hardy back in the day. Jeff Hardy's probably a better example just based on the character. So what did you guys think of Darby? Yeah,
Jeff Hardy and Taker, wasn't it?
I can't.
No, remember. That was that match that Taker beat the shit out of him, but he earned his respect.
Right. Yes, the handshake at the end. Yeah. I remember who he won the title off of, but I know Mick Foley definitely came to mind on a random Raw, kinda, you know.
I mean, it was supposed to happen when he came back from Mount Everest. It didn't.
True. I think he got hurt again not too long after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Then he did that whole thing with Jack Perry and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand. I don't know, because I don't understand why taking it off of MJF right now. Like,
well, that's the other
they got. Like,
well, that's the other thing. A lot of people were saying, well, you know, what's their overall plan here? Do they have a plan? They also cut a promo segment after Dynasty where Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega were in the back in the training room, kind of just talking to each other, saying, hey, you're going to get the world title, man. You kind of like this mutual respect thing. I've been saying for a long time, and I still hold to it. The plan for All In August will be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the world championship. So that's got a lot of people thinking, well, why did they put the title on Darby? Why couldn't you just put it on Kenny and just move from there? You could have done it. And that's what I thought they were going to do. But they already have the plan in place, which means the Darby Allin thing here is also part of the plan. So I think we just need to wait and see where this goes and see how they book this with Darby Allin. I don't want him to have just a short run. Now, MJF's already online saying, well, he kicked me in the dick. He did, but you beat him on low blow before too. So whatever. But they may do a rematch at Double or Nothing, but I hope they don't pull the title off Darby in a month. That would stink. So I'm hoping it'll at least be a few month run, and then we'll figure out what they do coming into August. But a lot of time between now and then. So and not to mention Darby Allin. Everybody who's complaining about Darby Allin winning the title this week, well, how could you have Pipsqueak Darby Allin beat MJF, one of your top talents? Those of you who've been asking for AEW to have fresh faces in the main event, don't come crying now, because you got Kevin Knight, Darby Allin, Tommaso Ciampa as well, who's going to be challenging Darby Allin this week on Dynamite for the world title. Now, I don't think Ciampa's winning this. Clearly, I'd be stunned if he did. But again, you got some new young faces coming. Well, I don't know how young Ciampa is at this point, but some new faces, as it were, coming to Dynamite and AEW television. And I know we've talked about how we didn't want to see the same matches over and over again here on the channel as well. So it seems like they're kind of leaning into that a bit. We'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, so that's
a lot of gray in his beard.
Yeah, I'm just glad the beard is growing back, because when he shaved that beard, oh my God, he didn't look right.
Yeah, he looked weird.
Looked terrible. But, so I'm happy for Darby. Did you have any thoughts on Darby? I think he's well deserved. He puts his body on the line.
It's yeah, but that's the issue too.
Yeah, it can be. You're not wrong. For sure. Yeah.
I mean, just see where it goes, because like if the booking, we'll see where it goes, because I if you give him it for a couple of months, but make it mean something, fine. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're just doing it as a holdover, I get the feel good moment. I get that you want to reward the kid, but like if it ultimately means nothing, it means nothing. So
good start, great, and he was in tears at the beginning of that show. Yeah, you're right. I want it to be meaningful. It already is. The way they did it was meaningful, but it depends on everything with title reigns is always about what happens after you win it too. The build to get it is great, obviously. I think that was done good. Let's hope he has a good run. That don't always ends up being the case with a lot of people. But Jade Cargill comes to mind. But we'll have to wait to see where it goes. But yeah, I'm happy to see new faces. Mike said everyone lost in their home country in AEW and Canada. Maybe Vince is running AEW secretly. I hope not. I think a lot of that was just and to believe I thought Edge or Cope and Cage defeating FTR was a shoe-in. Didn't happen. And then once Jericho lost, which I thought, okay, he's put over Ricochet, little end of his career. I understand it. But then I thought that meant great things for Kenny Omega then being the last Canadian on the show, and he lost too. I'm going, boy, I definitely was not on my game on those picks last time for sure. But it happens. He also said, I've seen some of the dreaded IWCs saying that Darby will be no better as a world champion than Rey Mysterio was in WWE. And that's the other thing I kept hearing. He's too small. And Rey Mysterio was super small, and he was a great world champion in WWE. So I don't think size matters. Yeah.
You want to go by that? I mean,
yeah.
WWE wise, there's a lot of champions that aren't these big monsters anymore. Seth Rollins isn't.
No.
Fucking Cody isn't. Hell, who was it? Kevin Owens. He's not the biggest guy. He's not. So like, that's stupid. Stone Cold wasn't the biggest dude. Neither was Brett or Sean.
Brett especially. Well, Sean too. Yeah. They're smaller than like Kevin Owens guys and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But the whole size matters not as it. I mean, size doesn't matter in pro wrestling at least. But anyway, it's another story. He also said that Ciampa got his Triple H look back with the beard. Probably making R-Truth wonder why Triple H is in it. Yeah, for sure. R-Truth is completely turned around. He's thinking that Danhausen is Asuka right now, and he thinks that Xavier Woods is Grayson Waller. I'm like, and I want to know how he got that leap. But
what do you mean? He thinks Danhausen is a Japanese woman.
Yeah. Well, for sure. He mentioned something about how Xavier like. I don't want to say he went white or anything, but he explained it on like SmackDown in a weird way where it kind of made some weird sense, but it was something. I'll tell you that. So yeah, R-Truth is on another level for sure. And of course, Damian Priest is just like dying watching it. It makes sense all this for sure. So yeah,
Damian talked about that in an interview like before when R-Truth quote unquote joined the Judgment Day, and how like. They're in the ring or they're doing a backstage segment, and how hard it was for him not to laugh at Truth at the shit that he would say. But it wasn't just him, it was everybody in the group. He goes, we're just having this super serious moment, and then he just pops his head up and says something, and now we all got to look away because we can't. It's the same thing that happened with Sammy and Roman and those guys in the bloodline. Like,
and you always see it with Damian. He's always like,
yeah, he'll cover his face.
Just so he can smile. And Jimmy did that a lot with the blood.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, let's get rid of this wrestling stuff for tonight. I know we took a long time on it, but it is the biggest show of the year. So for those of you who ain't into pro wrestling, we apologize, but it is the biggest show of the year. So we'll move on from that. All right, let's get into the world of movies. Here we go. All right, we had quite a bit of news this week. CinemaCon was this week in Las Vegas, I believe, as a matter of fact, home of WrestleMania 42. But before we get into some of the news from there, we had some movie trailers dropped this week. This one in particular I thought was a lot of fun, so let's check it out. It's the first full trailer for Street Fighter, starring Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, all these wrestlers, plus many others. So here you go. Let's check it out.
5, 4,
all right.
3,
Pretty good trailer.
1. I got good news, y'all. Gathered here are the world's best fighters.
I won't deny it. I'm a street fighter.
But only
that
one
hair.
Crown the world champion of Street Fighter.
Ooh.
You win. Perfect.
You're not a warrior anymore. You're a sideshow.
That's Ken.
TV. I'm Ken Masters.
Not at redemption.
Huh.
50 Cent.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Right out of the game.
It's Ken's turn to be champion.
Looks like Ryu's on hard times too.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find me?
We paid to find champions.
Zangief.
If they're lost.
That Zangief asking all points.
We're going through it.
Good to see you, old friend.
What the?
Still reckless.
What's going on?
Sit down.
Nice.
This tournament is not what it seems. We have to be ready.
All right. Now scheme. Get him, Cody.
Talking about your thighs. I don't see what the big deal is.
Look. Ooh.
Bitch, please.
Oh.
Zangief. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Roman.
Akuma.
That shit.
What's going on?
Jason Momoa.
I'm
Or not
positive
Brock.
that a fireball came out of Ryu.
Go, Rio!
Hadouken. Perfect. All right. I think this has the right amount of seriousness and tongue-in-cheek based on what I'm seeing. You know, like this could be a lot of fun as well as serious and very, choreographic fighting and all that sort of good stuff, obviously. But so yeah,
I
what do
like
you guys?
the soundtrack so far.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike. But a lot of
That
times
Guile though is wild. His hair is crazy work. Like
I heard he put that on at WrestleMania Live this week too.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so that would have been cool. So yeah, we got the baby face posters as it were, as well as the heel posters as well. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's not in the summer; it's in October, which is kind of nice because it's kind of in that lull period when there's not a whole lot of great movies from summer to Christmas. So it's kind of nice to have something good to look forward to in between. We'll get Mortal Kombat first coming up here in just a couple weeks, and then we're going to get Street Fighter in a few months. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this and seeing just Jason Momoa as Blanca is awesome to look at, like you said, 50 Cent. And I'm still ain't seen a whole lot of M. Bison just yet. I'd like to see a little bit more of him, which I'm sure we will do in spades. But yeah,
Roman Reigns as
Akuma. I'm not sure how I feel about the Ken Masters storyline just yet, but they kind of did something similar with like the Cole Young thing. You kind of got to have a narrative in there, I guess, and you'll throw Ryu going through a little bit of struggles as well, and have Chun-Li be the one to kind of bring them together, Nick Fury style, as I guess, or like Raiden in the Mortal Kombat movies, So yeah, I'd like to see more out of E Honda too. He was always one of my favorites to use as a child. You got the big fast hands and the feet and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
E Honda was, yeah,
for sure.
E Honda.
So yeah, you gonna go see this in the theaters or no?
Man, going to the theaters is a slug. I'm trying to go because I still want to go see Mario Brothers. Mario.
I've seen it twice now. It's not bad. It's not bad. So, if you guys ever want to go, just by all means, let me know. I'm down. So, even if it is like a cheap theaters, which is it was,
I don't know. I don't mind. I might want to go check this out because I do want to see Mortal Kombat. I hope that's gonna be fucking good.
I need to watch the first one again just to kind of refresh my memory. But I remember just being kind of meh on it. But I want to watch it again, mostly for the Sub-Zero Scorpion storyline again and get refreshed on that.
That was actually really good.
And I think they're going to focus more on what worked in the first film and the sequel. So I'm hoping that's kind of what they do. Kind of have Cole Young take a bit of a back seat, you know what I mean? But yeah. Mike was kind of going back to wrestling there for a second. He said, I always wondered if R-Truth and Sami Zayn had a side bet who could make more people crack on camera. That's a tough one.
Probably the hardest was Roman.
Yeah.
The hardest was Roman but Sammy got Roman twice. In the one segment that he did with who was it? Logan Paul, where he said you're the number 2, my doggy.
Yeah, you will always be a giant big pile of 2 or something like that.
We the one and you the 2.
Yeah, and Roman's just like,
that one. And there's another one where he's talking to the that one where Roman turns his head.
Well, it wasn't even. And Roman cracked, but it wasn't so much Roman. It was Jay who was cracking.
Yeah.
And then Roman's like, no.
Yeah.
Right here. You know, you're going to find your inner Uzi again. And then Jay lost. Outstanding stuff. And what's funny, it's not so much that they're laughing. If you watch in the background, Sam is just in the back going,
yeah, he's like watching this all unfold.
Watching his chaos unfold. You know, knowing
he got Paul in him. But he's got Paul in a couple. There are times when Paul turns around and just shakes his head. You can see him shaking his head like, I can't with this guy.
Yeah.
He's Solo.
Like Solo had to deadpan it, which had to be the hardest thing. I mean, poor guy. Mike speaking about the Street Fighter trailer, he said, "Be interesting to see those wrestlers in scripted fights." I know, right? I mean, they're not.
But I think that's weird though. That like, honestly, in action too, wrestlers transition a little easier but harder because like
they got that stigma they got overcome.
Yeah,
you know.
So it's like it seems like it'll be way easier, but it's a little bit more difficult, like than you think. Choreographing a fight. As in, you're doing, something for 10 minutes, as opposed to like you're breaking it down into like 30-second chunks, and then you re-going over the maneuvers again. Like, it's a little bit harder when you do it that way because you're just breaking it down.
But at least you're not doing it live.
That's also true.
You get a couple takes or whatnot. It'll be interesting to see too how much Guile and Akuma, especially Guile, has in the overall story. Obviously, with the Jean-Claude Van Damme version, he was the lead actor, the lead character in the movie with Chun-Li.
Because he had to be.
Right.
There was no.
Yeah. But now it's it seems now it's going to be focused on Ryu and Ken, which I'm totally fine with. It's like when they did Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. But now they're going to be focusing on Johnny Cage. So
then you'll get more of a Akuma in that story because Ryu and Akuma are mainly connected, and with Ken involved in it as well. So
yeah, makes a lot of sense.
That's the storyline they're going over anyway.
Yeah. I just hope Cody has a little more. He was in a small role in the last Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson. It was very it was like one scene, but I thought he was funny in the scene. So I'd like to see more of him in movies and see what he can do with his acting chops for sure. And we've seen Roman in a few movies. The Fast and Furious movie, he didn't even have a single line in outside of his "Oorah," that little thing. He did that, but other than that, he had no speaking lines, much like Buck in Deadpool. But no more speaking lines.
But he played the Zebros in Zootopia too.
For sure, which I've still not seen. But that was Punk, yeah, which they need to do like a reference to that in their match. I don't know what it would be.
They did the one promo that.
Yeah, well, they mentioned it, but I mean, like something from the movie in the match.
Oh, yeah,
that's kind of. But yeah, they referenced it.
Zebros, some stupid shit like that.
yeah. They said that Survivor Series, and they give the face bump or whatever. So yeah, but I don't know. I need to watch that. I've heard it was actually a pretty fun movie. So. Yeah. And I did hear the sloth was in the second Zootopia. That's all I really cared about. My favorite part of the second movie. Or the first
we finished the first season of Breaking Amish.
Oh yeah, and
my God,
do you have a season
review?
It.
Yeah. Amish people are
Okay.
Nuts.
I will definitely go check.
Wild, brother. Wild.
Right on, right on. Well, definitely, I'll take the recommendation. I'll see if I can find it somewhere, and I'll have to watch it for sure. All right, well, we got one more movie trailer that I wanted to talk about that came out this week. I was actually hoping this would be the Avengers Doomsday trailer. No such luck. Maybe next week. Doubtful, but we'll see. We'll talk about that more in just a minute. But we did get the final trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. So let's check it out real quick, and we'll let you know what we think about it. Here we go.
We've all heard stories of the Mandalorian bounty hunter and a child.
I only hunt Imperial war criminals. I'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
Here we go.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Oh, yeah.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor first.
We're protecting everything the rebellion fought for.
Good luck.
Get him, Zeb.
You're gonna need it. Hey. Strap in.
We need a professional.
Hang on.
What happens when you're not there to protect him?
You good?
Squish. Yes, they got his wolf.
I'll be right behind you.
I was hoping they have it.
Go. Go.
Mandalorian, you will suffer. Then it will be his turn.
Monstrous. The old protect the young. And then the young. Protect the old. It's time.
Are you scared? You should be.
Good job, baby.
All right, okay.
This is the way.
All right, so just so you know, tickets are on sale now, which is why the trailer came out this week. 7 years since the last Star Wars film in theaters. So, for you Star Wars fans out there, if you want to support this movie and the franchise, definitely time to go do that at the movie theaters, no doubt about it. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this trailer looks probably the best of the trailers we've gotten so far for the Mandalorian and Grogu, because it looks like some of the special effects shots and everything is finally starting to come together. The one thing they're not really showing a whole lot of is the storyline when it comes to this, which I think could be a very good thing, could be a bad thing, because I do have concerns. I'm hoping it's not just going to be an extended version of a television show of The Mandalorian stretched into a movie to put on the screen and sell tickets. I'm hoping it has a narrative reason to being made into a film and to be put on the big screen. And if they can nail something that's intriguing and, to get the audiences, the fan base actually excited for where Star Wars is going, especially in the Mandalorian timeline with Grand Admiral Thrawn and stuff they've kind of been teasing in the TV shows, it would make me much more excited and much more happy to go see this in the theater. So looks a lot better, looks a little bit more darker when it comes to the, the Hutts and some of the bounty hunters and all this stuff. Embo had his dog / wolf, his sidekick next to him, which is one of the best duos in the animated series of the Clone Wars and stuff like that, making their debut here as bounty hunters, as probably playing a villain role here, if not the main villain role. So yeah, and I'm also, obviously, we're all curious about what's going to happen with Grogu, Baby Yoda here, and his future and his destiny in this entire franchise. So hopefully this storyline, whatever they got cooking, will be able to kind of shed some light on where we're going to be taking this very popular character in the series. So what do you think about The Mandalorian and Grogu? Are you excited about it? Coming out in about a month's time. It's going to be hitting on movie theaters all over the world. So looking forward to this. Like I said, first Star Wars movie in 7 years. So that's an impressive feat in and of itself, because they were hitting them like every year at one point. Took a bit of a break, and hopefully they recharged and they were going to get this right. So thoughts in general?
Yeah, I mean, I would watch this. Like, it's been a while since I think Jaden would probably like to see it too.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch The Mandalorian?
I watched like maybe the first 3 episodes. I don't think I've ever finished it. Like, I'm gonna be real honest with you. And
really good show.
I didn't have much time to watch a lot of things, so.
First two seasons especially are great. The third season took a bit of a step back, but it completed the story arc. So I'm kind of curious to see where they take it after that, since the whole main series is pretty well storyline wrapped up if they wanted to end it there. But
no, I think I watched the first 3 episodes.
Okay. Very good start. So yeah, I mean, and it got better from there. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, so
but yeah, I am intrigued with this. I mean, so I know who Grogu is. I know how he acquired him and all that other shit too. Like, so
I don't even think I'm not even sure when they revealed Grogu's name. Everybody just called him Baby Yoda for the longest time.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
And I think they finally revealed the name like midway through season 2 or something like that. I think. Yeah, when they met another character from the Clone Wars, which, again, but you wouldn't necessarily have just seen it to understand it. But yeah, so yeah, definitely, it's got potential in this timeline. 5 years after Return of the Jedi, the original trilogy, so it kind of takes place after the Empire has fallen. There's remnants all over the galaxy, which is why Sigourney Weaver's character said this is about preventing another war. So they're trying to do that as well. But Grand Admiral Thrawn's kind of waiting in the wings to be their next big bad in this 30-year gap between episode 6 and 7. So that's kind of where this falls. So I'm hoping that we end up getting that big Thrawn movie or trilogy. Would be great in theaters if they could do it properly. So time will tell on that one, but I'm hoping maybe this will give us a little bit of an inkling about where we're going. I'm hopeful for sure, considering Jon Favreau directed this. He directed the Iron Man 1 and 2, as well as obviously Elf and a lot of other movies that he's been well known for. He's been integral in creating the Mandalorian series and stuff like that too. So definitely looking forward to this. I don't know if Aaron's there, if he has any thoughts, but if he does, hopefully he'll chime in. Yeah, who are the Hutts in there? Mike said, not sure, surely not Jabba, no, it's not Jabba the Hutt. I'm not sure if it's part of Jabba's bloodline, because there is a character from the Clone Wars animated movie called Rhoda the Hutt. Ahsoka called her Stinky, or called the baby Stinky. It was a boy, I guess. He's all grown up. So Rhoda the Hutt, which is Jabba the Hutt's son, is in this movie. Now, the Hutts they showed in this trailer was not Rhoda, so it's probably Jabba's bloodline, I imagine. But yes, this is after Jabba's been killed in Return of the Jedi, for those of you who may be confused. So, but yeah, you'll see Jabba's son in this for certain. So there's that. He's the one that in previous trailers he had like double axes and like a battle arena against the Mandalorian. So he will get a fight scene against the Mandalorian too. So that'll be pretty cool.
See, now I know you didn't play much of it, and because I'm kind of wondering in the storyline or timeline. I don't even know if this is timeline is canon or not. But in the Old Republic, the Star Wars game, there are Hutts. Okay, because there are Hutts and shit in there too, and I don't, me not knowing all storylines whatsoever. If you pick a bounty hunter, you kind of go through this whole Mandalorian kind of right thing, and it's called like the Great Hunt and all this shit that you go through. And I didn't know how much of that was actually a thing, because you deal with the Mandalorians as part of the bounty hunter story.
Well, that's one of the things I loved about the Mandalorian series. Well, if you'd have kept going after season or episode 3, there they eventually get into the guild and like the bounty hunter guild and and everything that like he has to go through as a bounty hunter. Plus, as a Mandalorian, the traditions and creed of the Mandalorian people and things like that, which I thought was really cool. Which they had touched on at times in the past as well in other material in canon, but it kind of fleshed it out a bit. Now, as to the Old Republic, it's not canon, but the thing of at least not yet. They've had talks for many years about going back and doing like Old Republic movies and shows and stuff like that. But they've kind of shied away from it. I'm hoping they eventually kind of embrace that. But the stuff that's out there right now that's Old Republic and stuff, it's not canon. But the beauty about it is, until it's contradicted a lot by the main stuff that is canon, you can almost just kind of view it as actual canon in your head, like your old head canon. So you could just kind of treat it as the history, which is kind of what a lot of people do.
You don't, if you play a bounty hunter in there, you don't become a Mandalorian, but you get a companion who is a Mandalorian, and you're helping him, or you go with him on, I don't know, it's like your introduction to him, to be him becoming your companion. But you deal with the Mandalorians, and there's a lot of rules and rituals that they have that you have to kind of follow to be there. And so I was just curious, because like even with the Jedi and the storyline there, and what they talk about and who they deal with there, there's characters there that you see on the council in the movies, but they're also I can't say characters, races, alien races. So it's like in the same, because like I don't know, are Twi'leks a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
one of the main characters in the anime, one of the main characters in the animated stuff, and now in the Mandalorian series too, is a Twi'lek. I believe that's her character. No, wait, that may not be the right. No, I don't think that's the right one.
No,
but they both kind of have like kind of have like this Leku or whatever. Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, the one you're talking about, hers stands up like this, and it's a race. It's an actual race in the
Star Wars fans are probably screaming at me right now. How I know what species is Ahsoka. I don't think she's a Twi'lek, but she's a Torpedo. A Torpedo.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's similar when it comes to like the like I don't know what you call it, like squid like type tentacle type thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but Twi'leks are there too. Twi'lek was the slave girl who was like eaten by the Rancor in Return of the Jedi. So yeah, they're in there too. But there's so many different species to keep track of it. I tell you right now, if Brandon ever got to like, I fully believe if he was to sit down and I gave him the timeline order to watch all this stuff, I think you'd get fully invested. I really do, because there's so much lore and stuff to really dive into. Yeah,
there's a blue Twi'lek who is a Jedi Master in the Clone Wars movie.
Yes, I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah, her name is weird. It's like T something. It's like T Kai or something like that.
Actually, it's Ayla Sakura. Ayla Sakura.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm completely wrong.
At least is it this one? Let me see if I can pull it up a picture for you here. This is the one I was thinking of when you said it. There you go. There's a picture of her. Hold on. There you go. That's who I was thinking of. She's on the Jedi Council.
Yep.
She was gunned down on this planet here in Revenge of the Sith.
Literally had the worst death of all the Jedi.
She kind of went, it fell forward. It was pretty bad.
If you pick a trooper in the Old Republic, that's what they look like. That's what your armor set looks like.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. That's actually from the game.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That's what I figured. So, yeah. I mean, and then, of course, you got, Hera Syndulla from Rebels, who's also in the new Ahsoka series and stuff as well. So she's a Twi'lek too. So, yeah. I was
just curious because, if you... Because I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what all races were a part of it or whatever.
Well, trust me, it's like Star Trek. There are so many. You could spend days learning about lore and different species, and they all have their own histories and background. Yeah, it's just insane. But that's what makes it fun too for those diehards who want to really dive into that sort of.
In the Knights or in the Old Republic, you could be a Sith, which is a race, but they're like these pure red skin, they look like Sith, but that's apparently, and Korriban is where you start. It's the Sith homeworld.
Yeah, or at least it was in non-canon. I think it's been it's like Exegol now, which is the same thing, but episode 9 kind of retconned it a little bit. But yeah, the same sort of situation. Well, I want to say the Clone Wars even kind of did something else. It might be Korriban. Was it Korriban? And
Korriban.
There was another one they changed it to. It may not be Exegol, but there was another Sith homeworld. I think they changed the name slightly, but yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen that episode, because there was an episode, an arc in the Clone Wars where Yoda literally learned how to become a Force ghost like he did in the movies, and he went to how he betrayed, and he had to like go to the Sith homeworld and stuff. It was really weird, but it was definitely Jedi lore-ish, and I like that sort of thing as a nerd. So that's just me. Mike said, which Star Wars character not named Jar Jar Binks would be the worst character to give a spin-off to? Not named Jar Jar. That's obviously the easy one. Clearly. The
little bug dude that was in the pod racer one.
I was just about to say him. What is his name? Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Wait. Are you talking about the one that got second place essentially? Or are you talking about the bug guy that exploded at the beginning?
Oh, the one who was the main competitor, or the that's
he's the one that was he the one that Anakin raced for?
For the most part, yeah, he was the main
flying.
No, he was kind of a bug.
He's talking about Wada.
Yeah, with the wings and all that shit.
The one who owned him as a slave.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he would definitely be one of the worst for sure.
Yeah.
Although I would be kind of curious to see what happened to him after Anakin took off. You know, he probably did all of his work for him. Anakin did. So
Yeah.
kind of curious to see what happened. I know he kind of showed up in episode 2, trying to let him know where his mother was. But yeah, it looked like he hit hard times in that movie for sure. But anyway, all right. Well, let's get into some of the stuff that came up at CinemaCon this week. Just some quick rapid fire movie news here. Paddington. I don't know if any of you people have watched that trilogy of films. It is now getting a fourth film, and an animated film for Paddington is also in the works. From what I understand, I've not seen these movies. I hear they are some of the best movies you'll see. I hear Paddington is actually really, really good. So
I've never seen it.
Never have either, but I've heard of the character, but never seen any of the movies, but I've heard they're absolutely outstanding. So it makes a lot of sense as it's getting a fourth film here. So for you Paddington fans out there you go. We got the first official poster for Spider-Man Brand New Day with Zendaya in the reflection of his mask in his eyes there, which brings back a lot of memories of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man posters with Doc Ock in the reflection and things like that. So definitely kind of cool, a little bit of a callback, but also some of the familiar that we've seen in the past as well. So definitely a great poster there. Yeah.
Conspiracy theory with that.
Okay.
So throughout the Tobey Maguire movies and throughout the Andrew Garfield, all the villains were reflected in the eyes of the Spider-Man suit. So
yeah, I've seen a few.
For Zendaya being reflected in this movie,
she's a villain.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just saying that if we're tying all of them in, you know, like they did in No Way Home,
right? Yep.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
possible.
We'll see what happens.
And I'm on the record as saying a few weeks ago, I still think the antagonist, not necessarily villain, is probably, in my opinion, going to be Jean Grey. But there's also an outside chance that I think Ned could be the villain as the Hobgoblin, potentially in this, because he kind of set that, you know, the last movie he's like, I'll never try to kill you, but that was before he had his memory erased. So I still think that could potentially play a role in here. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, you're not wrong. And with Zendaya in here, not remember who he is, maybe they're trying to tell us a little bit more than what we're leading on. We'll have to wait and see. We also got our first few shots of Beyond the Spider-Verse, the Miles Morales third film in that trilogy. We got the alternate version of the Prowler, and I believe that's Miles. Is that Miles? I can't quite tell.
Film?
No, that's Miles' dad.
No, this is the third film in that
Third
series.
film?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse or whatnot, and now Beyond the Spider-Verse.
So Spider-Man always loses somebody,
yeah,
right? But this universe does not have a Spider-Man,
right?
So Miles' dad is alive.
That's okay. It's his dad. I was gonna say the haircut was throwing me off, and then his uncle.
It's his dad and his uncle. His uncle never became the Prowler because Miles became the Prowler.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So this makes perfect sense. That hair's crazy. Then of course you got Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 here as well. Kind of again looks like he's kind of hunting down Miles potentially. I don't know. Then of course you got Miles and his dad. A nice little emotional moment there. And of course, a little bit of Spider-Punk going to save your dad. So yeah, a little bit, just a little bit of a little tease here. The movie's about a year away still, but we're starting to get a little bit more when it comes to the Miles Morales. Miles Morales,
great cliffhanger, man. When that camera spun around and you saw Miles, I was like, "Yo, what is?"
Yeah, when that camera spun around and you saw, this essentially, you had him, and then you had the actual. If I can get it to work. No, I don't want to play it. I just want to show it. But anyway, this was at the end of it. For those of you Miles saw himself as the Prowler in the alternate year. And from what I understand, the third movie picks up exactly where that second movie left off. So it's going to be like no time has passed. We're going to go right into where we were. So you're not going to miss anything. So looking forward to seeing that. We also got news on.
It was the worst cliffhanger. Because I hated that I had to wait so long.
I know
to see what happens.
Well, it was supposed to come out the year after, but they had, I don't know if they rewrote some of it from what I heard. There were some things that went down behind the scenes, so it ended up taking 4 more years at this point. It's like
there was the biggest thing was there was some drama between the actress of Gwen and the Miles Morales.
Really? I didn't hear
actor.
That.
Yeah,
I just heard they had to rewrite some of it because for whatever reasons were. But yeah,
apparently, the Miles, the actor who plays Miles, or the voice actor who plays Miles, right? He wanted that kind of like, co-star type relationship thing. And the actress who was voicing Gwen was like, well, I'm kind of in a relationship, so no.
Interesting.
And he got a little butthurt about that, and so it was a big drama thing. So
interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Sum it up.
Pretty interesting. I'll take. Well, cool. Mike said, this kind of off topic. We'll get back to the Jumanji thing in just a second. Mike said, just a quick note, not movie related, but really local entertainment related. Bob, don't butcher me for saying this wrong. Kavoyan. Bob, it was the nationally syndicated radio show out of Indy, the Bob and Tom Show. Bob passed away today. Was announced a few hours ago. Retired in 2015 from the show. Was diagnosed with cancer in 2023. Was 75. Never really listened to the show, but they were true legends in radio for sure. And everybody around here, especially, knew who Bob and Tom were. I listened to much clearly.
We used to listen to Bob and Tom back in Ohio, like all the time. Like I used to catch them. Damn.
Shoot, 75. I'd be pretty happy, I guess, with 75. That sucks. Diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. But
75 is young. My mom's 70. Like,
true.
She's, you know,
I guess right. I guess when you're in your 40s,
like,
you don't think so, but yeah, it is still.
Yeah. There's another piece of local news. I sent it to the Facebook group chat. There's a bad accident. Marathon on 3rd Street got hit bad.
Marathon on. Oh, really? That's right up there, right near work, isn't it? The intersection there, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe that.
2 gas pumps and.
Dude, I hate that intersection, and I hate that gas station too.
I just drove through it earlier today.
That was tonight, or when was it?
It was just earlier, like an hour before.
Oh, okay. So it must have been right after I went through there. Dang, that's kind of scary.
It was dark
but yeah, that
by
traffic
the time
there,
it happened, but
I believe it then. That thing is like 4-lane traffic, 4 ways. Yeah, I believe it. Or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy for those of you who don't know. Mike said, my mom is 92 and still getting around better than a lot of people half her age. That's the crazy thing, man. You know, like I had a buddy whose mom's still around too. I believe she's probably in her 90s or close to it at this point. And she was out, tilling the garden the last few years ago. It's like, dude, it's like, how do you do that?
My stepdad's mom, my grandma, my dear, she was in her 90s and she was still in her garden doing her thing for a while before, she had to be put in the hospital. But she was. I remember as a kid going over to her house and she's in her, 60s, 70s, and I'm outside in the garden with this woman as a kid. Like, yo, I can't do it, lady. Like, this is crazy work.
Yeah. I mean, if I could be, physically capable and more importantly, have my mental capacities at that age, I'd be a pretty happy guy. Even if I even make it to that age, part of me goes, well, I eat sometimes and stuff like that. Maybe I ain't going. I hope I do. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But that's 75. That's still crazy. But yeah, it's sad to hear
but I used to listen to Bob and Tom all the time. I found a lot of comedians because of their, show that they had and shit. Like I found this show to be entertaining as hell too. Damn.
I know my buddy Horton would be pretty sad. He listens to Bob and Tom often. So, definitely sad news, no doubt about it. So, thoughts and prayers to, like I said, I know I butchered his last name. I had to, but thoughts and prayers to Bob's family and him, obviously, for sure. All right, well, back to the movie news. Oh, Mike said one more thing. Only thing is noticeable about Mom is her hearing is going a little. Hey, at 92, if that's all, count your blessings. I think probably.
Hey, and you know what? I've seen there's going to be something that's going to fix deaf people too. So
that'd be dope. I know my stepmom deals with some hearing stuff too, but it's she's got like some. She doesn't have the cochlear implant, I don't think, but there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with that.
Well, the study said 10 out of 10 patients that received this thing was all regained hearing, 100%.
Nice, for sure.
Yeah, I used to have to wear a hearing aid, and I mean I don't anymore. I still should, but I don't. Yeah. And I can hear dog whistles out of my other ear, which fucking suck, by the way.
You probably told me in the past, but refresh for the audience at least. What, if you don't mind, what happened to your one ear?
So when I was a kid, I had this bump on the side of my ear, and I still have the scar from it. So I had to have surgery, but it was attached to part of my eardrum, and so when they had to go in to remove it, they had to take out part of my eardrum to do so. So I just can't hear out of that.
At this point, you probably do. You remember beforehand, or is it just kind of second nature, just because that's the way it's always been?
It's the way it's always been. So I was too young, and then by the time I got older, as I was getting older and going to the therapy classes and shit for the fact that I couldn't hear out of my ear, that's why I learned how to read lips, and I should have learned how to do sign language, but it wasn't like I was fully deaf, so I could still hear. So I didn't have to do that. But like, that's where I learned how to read lips and shit was because of that. So like, if you're talking to me and I'm not looking at you, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, there's been times I've said stuff to you at work and you just kept on going. I'm just like, all right, well, I'll catch him later. It's no big deal. I know it wasn't intentional, so it's fine. But yeah, I saw that
genuinely don't hear you.
That's all understandable. Well, a little bit more lighter news. Like I said, CinemaCon's news keeps rolling through here. We got the new title for Jumanji 4. The film will now be titled Jumanji Open World. So we've had Jumanji The Next Level, and now I can't remember what the first one was. But then of course now Open World. Huh?
So is this when? Yeah, is this when it's going to come to the real world?
Yes, the very last post-credit scene of the last film was basically the jungle animals were starting to invade the real world, kind of like they did in the first Robin Williams movie a little bit when they rolled a certain dice and like some of the things come into the real world. But in this case, you know, the entire game is now going to merge with the real world from the sounds of it, which means the avatars that are played by Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan will probably interact with their real life counterparts in the real world. I know Danny DeVito, I think, is supposed to be coming back as well for this too. So it makes sense to call it open world then, because again, it kind of plays on that video game motif a bit and stuff like that. So I think this makes a lot of sense. And the official synopsis reads, our heroes have escaped the ever-ending jungles of Jumanji before, but this time the game comes to us as Jumanji breaks free of its console, unleashing its chaos into our world. So
I'm pretty sure we're in Jumanji right now.
I mean, in a lot of respects, I don't disagree. I mean, killer bees and, you know, what was the things that they were supposed to come through here?
Not to mention, like, it's episode 88, and that's the whole Back to the Future thing. And I swear I am living in a fucking Groundhog Day dream, because all this stuff that you all are learning about, I've known about for years.
Exactly. That just means you can say, I told you so. For sure.
But I'm tired of saying it.
I understand. Thing I'm tired of saying is I want it under Wonder Woman and DC, and it looks like we may be getting it. Adria, I could be butchering her name too. Adria Arjona has been cast in Man of Tomorrow, the Superman sequel, in a mystery role. The last place you may have seen her is if you watched Andor. She played the love interest to the main character in that show. That's where this picture's taken, I believe. Now, it's been reported that she's going to be playing Maxima, that James Gunn has reported was supposed to be coming into the new DCU, but the reports are kind of saying it may not be Maxima after all, and Maxima may not even be actually potentially even in the movie. It may be like a red herring to hide the fact that she's playing the new Wonder Woman. I ain't gonna lie to you, I think she's got the look. So I'd be down for this, not gonna lie to you. So any thoughts on, I don't know if you've seen her in anything, because that's the only thing that came to my mind was Andor, but obviously this is kind of some concept art. I mean, this is kind of putting her on Gal Gadot's body a bit, but at the same time, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'd be fine with Wonder Woman debuting in the new Superman movie. Start to build this series out a bit more, for sure.
Side rant about this, and I know it was rage bait, but it was just annoying to see somebody thinking that this would be a good idea. So somebody thought her name escapes me, the girl who played Ellie in the live action Last of Us.
I haven't seen not her.
Something Ramsey.
I'm a father, Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey. They said she was going to be Wonder Woman, and I'm like, okay.
I heard she wanted to play Spider-Man too at one point. So that no.
Let's just hope she will never enter the MCU, because I don't see her as anybody. Because well, then again, does she even identify as a her?
I don't know.
Oh Lord, hell no, we're not doing
like I
this
said,
again.
what it killed the Last of Us series when she said the show, I'm going to be a dad. Like that was. Again, that agenda introduced into everything we have to have nowadays. It's like, brother, not to mention, no offense, she's not the most attractive. My opinion. All right, whatever.
I mean, she's not ugly. She's plain. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing to write home about her. I mean, even her acting was like kind of subpar.
I mean,
so
yeah.
I didn't watch the Last of Us.
It's not on my to-do list.
But Aaron, I want to back you up for one thing that you said that in the beginning of this. It was rage bait. Why do you even care?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes what is and what isn't these days. But
if some dumb person has a dumb opinion.
Yeah, I just wanted to
rage bait us.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I have to suffer through it, you all have to suffer through it with me. That's how friends work. Okay?
That's how we get through it together. You know.
Yes.
That's how I cope. I'm that blunt friend that's gonna call your ass out. So just remember that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
That's fair.
That one.
But yeah, as long as she's not playing Wonder Woman, I think this casting will be a lot better. If that is who she ends up playing, could just be Maxima, and it's got nothing to do with anything else. So we'll wait to see. We got the first official casting list of the new Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum, by the way.
I forgot this fucking movie was coming out.
Yeah, a year from December, so about I don't know, what was that, about 18 months or so, 20 months or so. Ian McKellen's back as Gandalf, Andy Serkis back as Gollum, and he's also directed the movie. We now know that Jamie Dornan has been cast to replace what's his name? Who played Aragorn? Of course, I freaking meant for Viggo Mortensen. So Jamie Dornan has been cast to replace Aragorn as Strider, obviously before we know him in the Lord of the Rings films with Fellowship. So I ain't gonna lie to you, he's got the look. I think it could possibly work here. So as I know Aaron is a Lord of the Rings guy, you got any thoughts on this recasting it? Obviously, I'd love to have Viggo Mortensen back, but he's obviously 20 plus years older now. So is Ian McKellen, but he's a wizard. You kind of make that work. So yeah, thoughts?
No, I don't have a thought. It's probably good to start moving on to younger characters, like if they want to continue with the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, honestly, I thought, and I was actually talking to my friends about this. So Ian McKellen, the first, like, I want to say like 20 minutes of the Hobbit movies, that makeup was awful. It made him look older. He looked like he was 4,000 years old.
Well, he might have been.
Yeah, he might have been, but yeah, he just, I don't know. I mean, they fixed it later on in the series, but you can tell that the first scene that they shot was that scene.
Gotcha. I mean, that's the trick. I mean, and now he's even older. And this is supposed to take place right in the middle of the Fellowship of the Ring, or at least the beginning of it, timeline wise. It'll be interesting to see how this movie works it into like the overall series, because right now it's almost like you got to watch the first half hour of the Fellowship of the Rings, stop it, go watch the Hunt for Gollum, then come back. That's kind of the way it's set up in the storyline. So I don't know how they're going to do this as a narrative. They'll probably have some flashbacks kind of tied it in this film alone, kind of like an aside. You can go back and watch it on its own, I'm guessing. That's why you got Elijah Wood also coming back as Frodo, and Lee Pace as Thranduil as well.
We could have moved on from him.
Again, I think it's probably going to be to just kind of fit it in the narrative of Fellowship, and that's probably it. Because during that time, Frodo's just protecting the ring and the Shire. He's really got nothing to do in this storyline that I'm aware of. So,
I don't know if they could do flashbacks, because if you try to do flashbacks with like Viggo Mortensen involved, and Aragorn is not Viggo Mortensen, I think that would look weird. So if they did do a scene, they would probably have to redo it with the new actor, else it's just going to look weird.
Are you aware where this takes place in the Fellowship?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know, it's when Gandalf gives the ring to Frodo and he goes to look for answers about the ring. That's where he takes off. That's where this movie is supposed to take place. Now, I didn't realize this, but I guess in the novels, that time frame from when Gandalf leaves and comes back to Frodo with the ring is like 17 years. So, but the movie just kind of side jumps across all of that to tell a narrative in 3 hours.
Crap?
Yeah. So, like, there's
how long does it take to walk from the Shire to Mordor? 17 years?
Well, again, he recruits Strider to hunt for Gollum and all this stuff. That's if I remember correctly. It's a long period of time. I know that, but the movie just kind of skips over it. So again, and you don't know that Aragorn is Aragorn until after they meet up, at the pub and all this sort of stuff. So the flashback with Viggo Mortensen probably wouldn't be a problem, but Frodo could be an interesting one. But yeah. Mike said the movie felt like 17 years. I wouldn't go that far.
You're just a hater, Mike. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it called? The prime Marillion, the Marillion.
Oh, the Silmarillion.
Yes. So, well, I think it's in that book. Anyways, so Legolas is trying to go to the Undying Lands, but he wants to bring Gimli. But I guess the Elven Council is like, no, you can't bring him. And so Legolas, kind of giving them a big middle finger, builds a ship and takes Gimli with him to the Undying Lands.
Oh, really? Well, was you on the show a couple weeks back when we talked about they're potentially looking at another movie written by Stephen Colbert, what's going to follow Sam, Pippin, and after Lord of the Rings a little bit, kind of talking about their journeys and with Sam's daughter a little bit, that they may go into that potentially. That's a story that they're probably looking into. So talking about how the whole thing with the Journey of the Ring may have failed before it even began. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they end up picking that up, but apparently that story's in development too. So we may be getting a lot more Lord of the Rings moving down the line, especially since Paramount has now purchased Warner Brothers, or in their process of doing so. So looking forward to more of that.
Hopefully he keeps his politics out of it and just sticks to the story.
He's supposedly a big Lord of the Rings fan, so hopefully you're right, and hopefully that's what he ends up doing.
We will find out.
It's also being developed alongside the Peter Jackson crew and all that stuff too. So my hope isn't all lost there for sure. We also got news on the Final Destination front. Final Destination 7 will release on May 12th, 2028. So seems like all these horror movies and about everything nowadays, sequel. But the horror movies kind of started that trend even years ago. And it sounds like the Final Destination franchise is going to do even more of that. And still to this day, I cannot drive behind one of these trucks.
I don't do Final Destination movies.
Every day one drives past our house. At least.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't do these movies. Like,
freak me out, dude.
Movie, the first one ruined it for all of them. I've never watched another one after that because it's like it's too real. Like it's good. I don't watch these movies.
Anybody else have a corded shower head that you're worried is going to start levitating and strangle you?
No, I don't know about that. But
no. I mean, yeah, but no.
But no.
Dude,
never know, man.
I can't get on roller coasters because of, I think, the third Final Destination.
I mean, it's literally 1,000 Ways to Die. Do you ever see this old show? Or I don't know if it's or not.
Oh,
Brandon likes to throw that on every now and again for fucking dinner.
Some of the craziest scenarios you'll ever see, by the way. Some of the weirdest things.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when South Park got tired of killing Kenny. They couldn't come up with any more ways to do it. So they had to stop doing it. So I mean,
I can't. This is too real. I just can't watch it. These Final Destination movies are just like, this is everyday life, something random like that. And I'm like, I'm good. The first one fucked it up for all of them, for me.
Yeah, I agree. I've not seen the last 3 or 4, so I can't speak too much on how it's going. But the first few freaked the hell out of me, for damn sure. Mike's got a question. I'll wait for him to write it in here, and we'll keep going. We got the first poster for Coyote versus Acme, a Looney Tunes movie that is also starring John Cena, by the way. So that'll be a lot of fun. Which originally was going to be canceled and written off due to taxes by Warner Brothers, but eventually got brought back due to fan outrage, I guess you could say, or fan petitions. They finally saved this movie, and supposedly we're getting our first trailer next week. So if that's the case, we'll have it here on the show for you on next week's show. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll check that out as it is coming out in August. So I can't wait to see what this is.
Be Bugs? Like, what's he?
No, I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be like a live action animated hybrid. So he'll probably be in it as some character.
For some reason, I could just see him playing Bugs Bunny. Starring all.
Of course, Will Forte. I'm not sure who this Lana Condor is, but Will Forte, I've heard his name. He's the main actor here. So definitely looking forward to see what this ends up being, especially since, like I said, and I think they even released a photo of Wile E. Coyote about ready to fall, and he's holding up a sign that says, don't forget to a write-off or something like that, referencing Warner Brothers trying to write this movie off and not release it. So, it'll be kind of fun if they play some tongue-in-cheek jokes in there when it comes to that. Spaceballs 2 has officially a new title. A lot of people thought it would be Spaceballs, The Search for More Money, which was the joke, obviously, in the first film. But Mel Brooks released a video this week and said, we could have gone that route, but, obviously it just seems like too cliche. He said though, but we are making a new one though, so that's what we're going to call it. Spaceballs, the new one is the official title. So it comes out April 23rd of next year. So Spaceballs, the new one, is the official title. So it makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, it kind of fits the gag. So I'm totally fine with this. Looking forward to see what they do with it. And I've also heard they're going to, since the first film ripped on Star Wars a lot, I've heard they're going to rip on the new sequel trilogy quite a bit. Even so much so, I think the trailer they may have showed had BB-8 and he was a box. So there's like certain things like they're going to change to kind of make it hilarious. So, and I'm sure it'll have some old callbacks to the original as well. So definitely looking forward to this. Got a new poster and trailer for Focker-In-Law starring Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, and Ariana Grande. Not going to lie to you, do not care one lick about this because I can't stand Robert De Niro anymore. But for those of you who are interested in this, there's the poster, and you can go check out the trailer online.
I never watched any of these fucking movies.
Ariana Grande's health really concerns me, and I don't want to feel like I'm supporting whatever they're doing to her. So
yeah, she doesn't look good.
And the first one just kind of made me mad at De Niro anyway, because he's just being a jerk, which fits. But I mean, it's just kind of like, man, like he just wanted to slap
side
him.
thing.
Yeah.
I watched Bad Grandpa, and I actually liked Robert De Niro in there.
I forgot he was in that, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it's him and
isn't that Knoxville?
Zac Efron.
Or I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking, is it?
Let's see, who else is in there? I don't know the names.
No, I don't think that's called Bad Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa, I thought was Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
I thought. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean,
no, hold on. Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Dirty Grandpa and what's it? Zooey Deschanel.
So yeah, I don't mind her. Yeah, she was in Yes Man with Jim Carrey. I liked her in that one. She's been in some
no,
stuff too,
not her.
Not her. Get it together, man, in the chair. Well, you figure it out. We're going to move on. You're good. No problem. Yeah. We also got confirmation that Paramount is working on a new World War Z movie. We kind of speculated on that. That was probably going to be coming down the line anyway, but now it's official under the new ownership. Paramount is still moving forward with that. We also got confirmation that the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem sequel, which I believe is supposed to be out next year, will officially have the appearance of Shredder and Krang in that movie as well. So that'll give it a little bit more of an intriguing element for me, because I wasn't a big fan of the first Mutant Mayhem movie. It wasn't for me. A little too new age, I guess it were. I kind of like my Ninja Turtles to be like the 1980s. That's just me because I grew up in that age. But maybe they'll surprise me with the addition of Shredder and Krang. At least piques my interest. So I'm happy about that, because we have not got enough of them in recent years, in my opinion, at least on the big screen. Call of Duty.
I still can't believe this is a movie.
I know. Call of Duty, the movie, now officially has a release date, June 30th, 2028. We're going to be getting this in theaters. So you Call of Duty guys, there you go. About 2 years away. It'll be coming to the big screen. So looking forward to seeing more for that in the coming years as well. We also got, which we kind of knew officially, that Top Gun 3 is officially, the script is well underway to being written. So this movie is probably a few years away still. But the fact that the script is already well into development means good things for this coming down the line and getting shooting, and probably in the next couple of years. So definitely looking forward to Tom Cruise one last ride, hopefully in Maverick's suit here. So definitely looking forward to that. And if it's half as good as Top Gun Maverick, we're in for it.
That was a good fucking movie. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a good movie.
That's the first movie I've seen in a long time. I saw that movie in theaters 5 times. I thought it was that good. And once at Miranda and Brandon, so that was fun too. So sure. Yeah. And last but not least, in the world of movies, we got our, which we'd shown this originally before, but it's now confirmed. This is the look of Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday. It was officially announced at CinemaCon. Yeah, it's gonna be one badass man right there.
Badass looking suit.
And I was hoping we would have the trailer this week, but they did show the first full trailer, which Robert Downey Jr. coined the trailer of Doom. So I can't wait to see this. Obviously, there's descriptions for this trailer online if you want to see what happened in it. Sounds like it's going to be outstanding, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody here on the channel, and I definitely want to get everybody's reaction once we do get it. I was hoping it dropped today, did not, but there are people out there who have seen it, and I'm surprised it didn't leak, to be quite honest with you. But I'm hoping we get this sooner rather than later. I know Comic-Con is going to be coming up in a few months too. So I'm sure we'll be getting this sooner rather than later. But yeah, sounds like we had some good action in this, no doubt.
That is a badass looking suit. That is
And in the trailer, supposedly Robert Downey Jr. never shows his face. Obviously, it's a trailer. He probably will in the movie at some point. But there's speculation we may not see his face to the end, and it's going to be the cliffhanger going into the second one, maybe. And not only that, they said in the trailer he has an accent. Obviously, being from Latveria, he would not sound exactly like Tony Stark. So it would make some sense for it, but I'm curious to see what it sounds like. They said it was absolutely outstanding. So whatever Robert's doing sounds like it's working. So can't wait to see this in full when they finally do release it. So with that being said, that's all the movie news I got this week. But I did want to say that we are going to cover the draft next week one more time before we leave the YouTube and Facebook portion of the show. So those of you who are looking forward to that, tune in next week. We'll have some coverage of that too. And before we get into our Rumble segment here, we'll get into a couple of Mike's things here, wrap up the show this week on YouTube. He said, question, what is something that's supposed to be fun that you won't do, though, out of maybe an unfounded fear? For example, my kids want to try ice skating, but I won't because I'm afraid I'll fall and someone will accidentally cut me with their blades. That's a pretty good fear because I don't know if you saw that hockey player who died that way. That's always been a fear of mine with ice skating for sure.
Mine's swimming. I'm pretty sure I drowned before in my past life.
Really?
Water scares the hell out of me.
It makes me kind of wonder what if I don't necessarily believe in such things, but if it was a past life, it makes me kind of wonder what I would have died of in my past life. Now I never really thought. I don't like spiders more so than snakes, so maybe tarantula bite. I don't know.
I've always thought it's possible.
Yeah.
To have multiple lives, because like if you were sent to Earth, right, by God, and you didn't learn something that you were supposed to learn, like
retry.
Yeah.
Reset, start over.
And then maybe like reincarnation into like an animal or something. Like let's say you get reincarnated as a dog. Like maybe you're supposed to learn like loyalty and like unbridled love that dogs have, you know? I don't know. It's been an interesting concept to think about that.
No, a lot of people believe in that reincarnation stuff too, and it's just not something I, personally, but yeah, I know a lot of people do, and who might say? I don't know, but that's just my opinion. So, anybody else got any fears? Like Mike was saying?
One of my past lives was definitely not a gigolo, but the male version of a whore.
Wow, I was thinking Viking. Like, if we wanted to go back further,
yeah,
you were just a whore though. So.
I kind of wonder I kind of wonder if I fell to my death, because I do have a lot of dreams where I wake up falling. You ever had those?
That's yeah. But that's another thing. Hold on.
I don't have a ton of them, but occasionally I've noticed I've done that. But
yeah, I've had that happen.
Shoot, I've had some where like literally, like, have you ever had like a dream where like let's just say, for example, you get shot in the head or something, and then you wake up and you feel this like full sense of like warmth go all the way down your body. It's creepy. Like I don't know if it's like, I don't know. They always, if it's like Doctor Strange though, maybe in a multiverse somewhere, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it just makes you think.
That's why I feel deja vu moments are, where like you vividly have this deja vu moment of like, this is familiar to me, but you have no real memory of it, but it feels like it happened to you.
Yeah.
Usually, if you have a dream when you're falling or that you're falling, it's like out of control, anxious, insecure, and overwhelmed in waking life.
Huh. Yeah, I've always heard there's like meanings to certain things. There's probably a bunch of different dreams that have meanings too.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of times, like, it'll be very vivid, and then you wake up and like 30 seconds later, you don't even remember really what happened in it. You ever had those? Like some dreams really linger with you. You remember them. Other ones are like they just fade pretty quickly. It's kind of strange.
A couple weeks ago, I told Brandon to tell Aaron to have his freaking pipes checked because I had a dream that his sewer was backed up. And I'm like, I don't know why, but
I tell Aaron about it that. I tell Aaron about it that night, and he tells me that they had a pipe issue not too long ago, and I was like, "That's fucking weird."
Shitter's full.
No. Yeah. It was. To answer your question, Mike, I think something that I would like to do, but I'm too afraid to do. Legitimately, I would have said going in an airplane, but I did that. Honestly, it would probably be skydiving. I think it'll be fun to do. But I'm afraid, like a motherfucker, that chute won't open, and I'll just plummet to my.
You doing it alone? You ain't dragging my happy white ass out of there.
I'm not.
I'm not doing it. You on your.
I
and then
do.
Again, falling.
If I could, if I could ride on a freaking fighter jet one time, I'd do it. I might not. Even
Like,
if we didn't crash, I may have a heart attack in the plane.
Are you talking like Top Gun type
Yeah.
twists and turns?
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
Mach 20 or whatever? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to have the video.
Yeah, like in the cockpit type shit. Yeah.
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 Can you imagine all the faces she'd be making?
Oh.
Twist and turn. No, thank you. I don't like flying in general, let alone doing that stuff. I mean, I'm sure they, I fully could trust those pilots, but it's just like, not me, man, not me. And Mike had one more quick question. He said, sports note, the NCAA is expanding this summer the basketball tournament to 76 games. Really? He said, not needed, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that'd be needed either. What is it, 64 now, I think, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. And so a couple playing games, maybe. That's like adding a whole nother like round. Well, not exactly, but close. Just more playing games, I guess. I don't know how that would work.
More
I guess
money,
that
more teams, more.
I was about ready to say profit.
Yeah,
Yep.
just like adding wrestlers.
Hell, just like adding more
68
games in the NFL too.
Yeah, so yeah, that's with the playing games, right? If I'm not mistaken. So there's 2 playing games, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So yeah, he's like, well, good answers, gang. I'm off to bed. Got to get this little 3-year-old turd to sleep. Good night and God bless. Well, good night and God bless you too, brother. Thank you for being on the show. Exactly. Well, we're about ready to switch over now to our Rumble exclusive portion of the show. For those of you who are watching this for the very first time, we're going to be covering some news and politics in the real world, but we're going to be switching over to Rumble to do that, so we can actually kind of say more what we think and not have to worry about getting the axe by the YouTube overlords, as it were. So we're going to be switching over there. So if you're watching this on YouTube and Facebook, we'll see you guys next week for episode number 89 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday night, April 24th, I believe. But for the rest of you who are watching us on Rumble and X, we will see you guys in about 3 minutes time. Stick with us and we'll be back with our news and politics. Here we go.